Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. The Walking Dead Season 11. Well, this is where it gets confusing what we're going to be talking about tonight, but it's episode 22 and 23, Faith and Family. Because of the whole AMC thing, this is the last week that this is a thing. The season finale, the series finale, you'll not get to watch a week early if you purchase the whole AMC Plus thing. But for the first time, so I might mention episode 23, so if you're very conscious of spoilers for The Walking Dead, for the penultimate episode, if you just got off watching the episode Faith, you just saw Eugene with his passionate, the greatest courtroom scene ever on film with Eugene doing his thing. Oh my God. And ending it all off with Mercer saying, let's fuck shit up. If you're ending off there, you may want to be careful because I might, at certain points in times, throw out some spoilers for episode 23, which is called Family, which is the second to last episode, which was the one dropped on AMC Plus last night. And wow, we do have a lot to talk about. Let me play some music for a second. I need to drink some water. And I am not alone tonight, of course. I have with me the live motherfucking chat. I got the chat with me. I got Peter Griffin, Fandom D Saint, John Haymaker, Sandrocco, Mark Houston. Yes, the process for this one's almost over, and another series finale. I was thinking about this earlier. I think this will be the 8th or 9th series finale that we've talked about here on this channel. And by far, this is the one I'm the least excited for. I'm not saying nothing happened in either of these two episodes that warrants me pretending that I had a good time with it. They're trying. Especially in episode 23 when you get to it. They try some stuff. It surprised me in a couple of things, but ultimately amounted to squat cobbler. Nothing. They did a big thing in episode 23. I'm going to spoil it in a little bit. If you didn't get to watch the episode, I'm going to yell and rant about it and talk about what happened. But I'm also going to go through episode 22 as well. And we're going to break down Pamela's ridiculosity speech. Pamela turning just straight up into the governor. They're even calling her the governor at times like this right now. I don't know if you're ready for this level of silliness that we get in these final two episodes. The question I put in the live chat tonight as a poll question, do you think we're going to see Mr. Rick Grimes? It's just because, and I know we're going to see The Walking David on our show, and he's going to do his Rick Grimes impression. David might be on this week, might be on next week, might be on the season finale. We'll get David on one or many of those times for a bit and for some time. Sorry, it's hot here. I got Mike Fonzie in the hey with my Fonzie. Who the fuck do I think I am? Call myself fucking Fonzie. I don't know. I'm bored. I'm not bored talking to you, but I'm bored from what I just sat through and watched, and frustrated when I look at other people's comments about these episodes and people being really high on these episodes. I feel bad because I'm not seeing it. I think there's individual good performances. There was a couple of really well acted and well put together scenes, and you know, what I'm saying isn't being challenged right now. I'm not being yelled at and told that everything I'm saying in this whole episode was stupid. That's because, if you haven't noticed, Joe Dirtylocks isn't with me right now. He had to pick up Katie Crow from work this evening, and he will be with us as soon as possible, popping on in here, sharing his thoughts on this episode. But let's go into the live chat and see what you guys have to say. Phil could have an anime avatar of the cartoon version of himself from the logo, start a VTubing career. I would love to do that. If anyone can work on that kind of technology for me, I would, especially as I become more decrepit over time. I'm less going to want to be on camera myself. So if I can turn into some eternal anime avatar of some kind, I mean, golly, Atari Dad. Let's make that happen. Mark A. Houston, yes, the final process is almost over. The next episode I get to see is the series finale, which I have to wait, 2 weeks to see. But I think it's sort of a scam when you balk people into buying your AMC Plus service because you say they get to watch the episode a week ahead of time, but when it comes to the series finale, you don't let them watch it a week ahead of time? I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that purchase, even the people that are actual intense Walking Dead fans and care about this process might go out for, that last month and purchase, or that last week, purchase the AMC Plus so they can see their favorite show end a little bit earlier. And AMC fucked you because they told you forever, you get AMC Plus, you get every episode a week early. And now the last time that they can do it for you, nope. And I got to admit, the way they leave episode 23 off does make me curious enough to be eager to see how the hell they're going to end all of this in a one single episode. Yes, it'll probably be like a 90-minute episode or something. But they built up a lot of stuff. And that's why I asked the Rick Grimes question, because especially if you've seen up through episode 23, it would take a lot. It would take a lot of bullshitting to get Rick Grimes in this story. And I don't know. I mean, he's coming back into the universe. I feel like I thought they were going to do a backdoor pilot for all of these spin-off series. And that's the other thing that pisses me off. You can start to see the wheels turning for these spin-off series on the actual show. You can see it definitely with the Maggie and Negan stuff. All they needed to do, this is a minor nitpick on the whole Walking Dead universe thing. You want to create a universe. You want to not really end your show and keep things going forever because you see everybody else doing it. I can't discredit to you, AMC. People still care about this show, regardless of me bitching and moaning about it here in my little bubble. There are still fans of this show and people that eat this nonsense up. And if you do, you do. I'm not saying, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying there's a world for these Walking Dead spin-off series that I'm just whatever about for the most part. I mean, some of them might be good. They have more of a chance to be good than the series does. In the same way, like the Simpsons movie was better than the Simpsons were in 20 years. It's like a one-off kind of thing. You have a chance to be something good, tell a decent story, get away from the stink of what's going on from The Walking Dead. But really, I mean, you announce the Rick Grimes one, that's fine. And then you say, and future series, and just keep it vague. Keep it goddamn vague. When I'm watching episode 22 and 23, especially because there's more zombie action in episode 23, I know who I'm looking at. Yes, they got me with one surprise zombie situation, and as the zombies are more variant zombies, they cause a little bit more destruction. There's a singular line from Negan in episode 23 that's my favorite line of a couple of seasons. And it's a simple line. It's just a what the fuck? It's just a what the fuck. And the way he says it, the line read of it is awesome. I'll say it's fucking awesome. But my point is why, and I've said this before, but it becomes even more evident in this big conclusion that they're trying to build up, which it's all of our heroes are up against it again in an unbeatable situation. How are they going to find their ways out of it? And you know exactly who is in danger. And I'll spell it out right now from the main people, from the people on the, let me bring this shit up, just because even though Joe's not here. Oh, no, hi, Joe. Hi, sorry. Like, see, these big four up here, one of these people doesn't have a spin-off series. I'm not saying they're going to kill Carol, but if they're going to kill any of these people, it's going to be Carol. Simply because we know that Carol isn't initially on the Daryl series. Maybe she's going to come on it later, so they're going to keep her character alive. But initially, she was off that list too. Negan and Maggie, we know Negan and Maggie have their spin-off series. They're safe. Okay, so that opens up everybody else that possibly could go. And if I start naming all of those people, the average Walking Dead watcher, someone that's tuning in, maybe coming back to watch the show after a long time to try to be invested in something that the fuck is going on in this goddamn show, any of the characters that you could possibly give two piss loads about are in the safe zone. They screw with that a little bit in episode 23 before a fan of this show, not like a fan would dare watch this podcast or like it or want to watch this podcast. But if a fan is watching, says, "Oh, what about what they did at the end of episode 23?" And I know I'm talking about it vague here. We'll get into recaps in a bit here, and I'll get into spoiler territory. But for now, I'm just kind of talking vaguely around it. If you've seen the episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, you get a little tease for what's about to happen. So, well, they did that, but they did it. They didn't. They did it. It's just another dumpster. Do I still have that? I think I lost it when the computer died. No, I have it. Just another dumpster. That's what happened in episode 23 was just another dumpster. Just another situation like what happened with Rick when he died but didn't die. A character that, I'm going to say it in a little bit, that you care about, potentially, gets in a very precarious situation. But there's no way on fucking God's screen and the devil and Santa Claus and the Snuffleupagus monster, there's no goddamn Snuffleupagus way that they're going to kill this damn character because this show doesn't have balls. And it's just another dumpster. What they will do is have characters you don't really care about have incidental stuff happen to. And we're probably going to lose someone like Father Gabriel or Rosita or Eugene maybe, or, you know, one of those kind of characters. Aaron possibly. But none of our main characters, the ones from the beginning, are in danger. And people could be like, "Phil, we don't want our favorite characters to die. We don't want..." Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You don't want it. You want it your way. You want it now. Sorry, I was just going to play the Veruca Salt song, but I don't feel like having this video being blocked from Willy goddamn Wonka. I see you, Wonka. Every time I play that song, you're flagging my video, Willy. Keep it in your Wonka pants. Goddamn motherfucker. Okay, so let's go. Piff. Move over, my cousin Vinny. Here comes Eugene. Seriously, with some Mona Lisa Vito kind of stuff. Listen, the two Utes. Shut up, Eugene. Spoil away. I don't give a shit. I mean, I'm going to spoil away in a few minutes. I'm just giving everyone that cares enough about it free reign and free run. And let me just set up a little bit about what's going to be going on here the next couple of weeks. By the way, you can call in here, 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. Share your thoughts about what the hell you think about what's going on in The Walking Dead right now. And ask us any question. Joe will be with us a little bit later. We might be joined by other guests. But what's going on the next couple of weeks? Next week, Joe and I will be on, or I'll be on, maybe a little bit earlier than normal, but possibly around the same time. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. And we're going to be talking about our predictions for the series finale. I'm not going to talk too many predictions for the series finale. Next week's episode will probably be much shorter. We're not going to do a full recap next week, and then we'll be coming out and recapping the series finale of The Walking Dead. So that's how the next couple of weeks will be working. As I mentioned, Joe will be popping in a little bit and here and there, as Sunday nights are a little precarious for him, doing some pickup duty. But duty, as I look in the live chat. Spoil away, I don't give a shit. Oh, family. ICP, we got Killmonger, Big Daddy. Unmute. Am I muted? Am I fucking muted? Have I been muted this whole fucking time? Can you guys not hear me? Kill them all. Why not make a Father Gabriel spinoff? We need the Father Gabriel spinoff. He can just murder every people. Will Phil ever touch fear again? I want it now. No, Joe did not quit The Walking Dead. In fact, Joe almost quit every other show, but he came back to do The Walking Dead. Joe will be here this evening at some point soon, and with us the next couple of weeks. And he's actually very excited as well. He finally has suggested for us to do a specific show, so we're going to start doing The Last of Us starting in January after episodes. Oh my God, Mike might show up. Okay, you guys can hear me. Good. Is the Negan arc good? It's better than some of the shit that they've done on this show. I don't know how to answer that exactly, because what am I judging arcs on this show? Am I judging it based on other shows compared to its peers? Shows like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, the original Game of Thrones, shows that started and came out around the same time. Even 24, for instance, the character progression of Chloe and Jack Bauer. Am I comparing it to those kinds of shows, other shows of its ilk? Or am I comparing it to other character arcs within The Walking Dead itself? If I'm comparing it to other arcs within The Walking Dead itself, yes, Negan's arc is good. I like everything Negan. I think post him being a loudmouth, obnoxious prick, him in the jail cell on has been all good Negan. And I've enjoyed the arc. And I continue to enjoy it. He's one of my few baskins of entertainment on this show. His what the fuck delivery really worked. I believe everything that he's sort of doing as an actor. I like the parallels in the scene in episode 22 where he's being thrown around like he used to throw around people and put in positions of fear. I didn't like how everyone lined up, in front of him and said, if you're going to shoot Negan, you're going to shoot us. That was very Spider-Man. If you fuck with one person, you fuck with all of us. Don't mess with Spider-Man. Every Spider-Man movie has to have one scene like that. It doesn't matter which Spider-Man it is. There needs to be a scene where all the people gather together and go, he's our hero. Don't mess with him, bad guy. It's kind of one of those moments. Court scenes in The Walking Dead was horrible. 24 character arcs got crazy shitty. I mean, except for Jack. I think Jack's arc really worked. I'm not going to start talking about 24, but I will say I enjoyed Jack's arc, and it was fairly consistent throughout the whole story, except, they made him an addict, gave him a heart problem, took away the heart problem. There was a lot of silliness with that damn show. It got silly. It was baked in its DNA of silliness. Negan's the only good part of the quote unquote good part of the show. I would basically agree with that. I think this show, what is good about it now, the dynamic of it, even down here in this final stretch, the dynamic of this show that actually works for me are the actors. And that's not just me, and not all of them. We've definitely had some fun picking apart some of these actors. Walking David, what was her? I forget the actress's name, but you had a big problem with one of them, and I've had my problems with some of them too. But I think for the most part, with Eugene's an example of someone I have a huge problem with. He's a Saturday Night Live skit trying to do dramatic speeches in a courtroom scene, and you're not playing it for comedy. That's my problem with the Eugene character. He should always be played for comedy. Maybe against type a little bit, but watching that damn courtroom scene with him and his this is Eugene and the people need to believe in me, and I'm not the wrong person in this society, and like doing that in a courtroom setting in a what's supposed to be an emotional scene was ridiculous, and not good ridiculous, especially coming off watching the Weird Al Yankovic movie, which I highly recommend to anyone that wants to that likes Weird Al and has a good sense of humor and can appreciate a well-made parody of other music biopics. You play something for comedy, you play it for comedy. even in a tongue-in-cheek way. They don't do that with Eugene. They're playing him dead serious. Unless I'm reading this wrong. They're like in scenes like that, they're playing him dead goddamn serious, and it's horrible. I am talking about the unfrozen caveman lawyer. Okay, The Walking Dead can't be compared to... That's what I'm talking about, Sand. Like, I try, and this is this thing that I don't always get through to Joe. I try to judge The Walking Dead on merits of The Walking Dead against itself, not against other things, because that's not fair. They're not... They don't quite know what they're doing over there. You know, like, God bless their... Snuffleupagus, bless their soul. They're trying real hard. You know, there's a lot of trying going on. But there's not a lot of success here at the end. They really want this end to be a big thing. But it's not. And yeah, I mean, I just don't think this is a great place to end the storyline with this arc. It doesn't seem... It seems like you can call who is going to die and who is going to live, or most of them are going to live and make it through this. And it just seems like as a last formidable adversary, Pamela just doesn't cut it for me. She's very... Her mustache twirl was a very clicky moment. Like, her mind clicked and she became, I'm normalish with a little bit of illusion, right down to like, bam, she's grabbing a machine gun and shooting at them too and go, fuck you. It's like a cartoon villain at the end of episode 23. And spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for episode 23 if you're not caught up and you just watched episode 22. You ready? Your last chance. There you go. She shoots Judith. Judith pushes Maggie out of the way because Daryl and Carol are... Why did they bring her? Because she's a Grimes and she gave reasons? Like, I'm not even sure. We'll unpack that a little bit when we get into the recap. We'll talk more about that next week too, when more people get a chance to watch the scene. But they have a scene with Daryl and Carol and her where there's some business happens and she explains, you know, well, Carl saved people. I'm not doing that. I need to go out and save people. And they send her out on this dangerous mission. But she's next to Daryl. That's okay. She runs away from Daryl because Daryl can't keep an eye on his goddamn dog, let alone the kids. They rescue the kids off camera too. A lot of the kids off camera. So but not all the kids are there. Rosita's kid's still missing. It's weird. And Dog's still missing too. So somewhere Rosita and Dog are. They don't mention that Dog's still missing, but he is. I didn't see him in this episode. Judith runs out and pushes Maggie out of the way and runs into a hail of bullets. Or no, one bullet. She gets shot. And then Daryl runs through and goes, no, bastards. No, he does like that no he did with when Merle he saw Merle as a walker. No. Well, I can't do it, Daryl, but we'll have to have David's. No, listen. No, I just sound like my creepy guidance counselor. Hey, Phil, you got to take gym. Yeah, sign up for health class. That's right, I'm Mr. Warner. Sorry if Mr. Warner's ancestors are watching this. He was okay. Okay, but whatever. They shoot down Judith, and I've never been more convinced someone's okay because they shoot her, she falls down, like she ragdolls down, bam, dead, unconscious, down. Except she gains consciousness for 1 second, looks at Daryl and goes, Daddy, because, you know, She misses her dad, and we need a little tease to see if the Ricker comes back. But I don't know. What's he gonna? They're gonna call Rick. They don't even know Rick's alive. I mean, I guess what the tease is going to be for the Rick Grimes series is we're probably not going to see Rick, but Judith, when she gets healthy, she's going to tell Daryl that Rick's alive, because she knows that Rick's alive. She's the only one, but she just hasn't told him, and she knows that Michonne's out looking for Rick. So I don't know, but so Judith gets shot, and she makes it. Daryl starts carrying her around while a huge walker herd with a bunch of variant walkers that just randomly showed up that could start climbing stuff and opening doors and God knows what else, which is really making things scary. And that's the moment when Negan says, "What the fuck?" So our 2 episodes back to back here are 2... Okay, I mean, episode 22 I thought was kind of shit. Like, total shit. The Eugene trial scene was comical, not for the right way. Episode 23 was probably the best of these final 8 so far, because it generally did at least surprise me a couple times. I wasn't expecting and I already spoiled alert here for episode 23, but I wasn't expecting the Lydia bite. And I thought the scene where they cut off her arm was effectively done. I did not expect in the moment Judith to be shot. And when she was shot, my initial reaction was they fucking killed Judith. Oh my God, I have to come out here and say that The Walking Dead hit a home run. Like, they had Pamela grab a machine gun and shoot Judith and then go, "It's all your fault," as she was backing away. That's what they did. Pamela grabs a gun when one of the soldiers falls down and starts shooting along too, in a scene that was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Our heroes all get trapped in this room with guys with a bunch of machine guns in the higher ground area on perfect aim as they're walking in without their weapons, really ready to fire. And these fucking dudes only are able to shoot one guy, and that's the one dude that's not a member of the family. It's just you can't make this shit up. So they go into that situation and they outfight the guys that are that have the higher ground Anakin on them, and they shoot at them, bang, bang, bang. And they kill one. Pamela picks up the gun, goes to shoot Maggie, and Judith runs out in front of the bullet and gets shot down. Well, it looks like in the moment she might have been killed. And Pamela gets this look on her face and then basically turns to Maggie and Daryl out of the audience and go, "It's all your fault. You did this. You did this," as she's backing away. It's so comical. And if they played into that from a comedic standpoint, an over-the-top standpoint, I might have liked it. I might have fucking loved that shit. I might have been all through it. Total stormtroopers. Judith got shot in the comics too, though only a few days after she was born. And it was by one of the governor's men too. Higher ground, they still couldn't shoot Judith. Phil's reenactments are way better than the show. Glad I came here first. Brady is back. He's like, "Okay, poor little fella." There's just too many seasons. Voicemail left. Oh, we get the Walking David with a voicemail. Let's play what David has to say here.
Hey, what's up, buddy? It's David. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I feel like this whole last season has been extremely lackluster, and this is the constant problem that we've talked about for years, where AMC, ever since season 6 or 7, and the introduction of Negan, they kept having this attitude of, "Hey, there's going to be some bullshit episodes, but just you wait. Something big is coming."
Yep.
It's coming. Are you ready? Because here it is. It's almost there. It's coming. Wait a sec. Okay, well, next week it's going to be, because this one is building up to that. But just, here it comes. And we fucked it. We fucked it up right there. Okay, completely underwhelming. But don't worry. This season is just a build-up for next season. The next season comes, and you just go, all right, here it comes. It's going to happen any second now. Fucked it. You know what I mean? Like, they just keep doing that, and it's just this horrible cycle of not delivering on your promises. And it's just because they really don't have anything. You know? It's like a weak guy in a fight who has his friends act as if they're holding him back to make him look tougher. But if you really just let that guy in a fight, he would just get knocked out in one hit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just all smoke and mirrors,
Glass
and
jaw.
not a very good job of it. It's a fun house where nobody's having fun.
Yep, and they've been managing to do that for a while, David. That's an excellent point. And they keep doing that every season, and it was a game that they started playing way early on, and they just continue to do that same trick over and over again. It is tough. Spinoffs need to be sitcoms at this point, like laugh tracks and shit, like Stormtroopers. Great to have Brainius back in the live chat. Great to have Emerald. Great to have Fandom. Great to have Atari Dad, Inglewood Rose, Sandroke, all of our good friends in the live chat tonight. The House of Judith, HOJ. Walking David in there as well. He may pop in later. I might pop him in a little bit too once Joe joins us. So, let's continue here with this. The fight analogy reminds me of a couple of different Kids in the Hall sketches. The actress that plays Judith is 50. She's 15. Wow. She's a good actress. I mean, this isn't anything against her as an actor. As a young actor, she's all right. She pulls off some of the stuff well. I think they lean a little bit too much on some of the Muppet Baby stuff here at the end, but they're struggling to find characters to care about. But to David's point, they definitely have used that device. They keep big things are happening on the mid-season finale here in The Walking Dead. People will die, and then it's never anyone you care about. And I'm saying, yeah, oh, you want people you care about to die? Yes. If to do a proper Walking Dead, and what made The Walking Dead, I think, at least to me, made it so alluring to me early on, was that feeling that any character could go at any time. Maybe that was always an illusion. You know, I didn't read the comic ahead of time. I had no clue where any of these characters were going or coming from, who was important, who was not. I was a big Shane fan at the beginning, Judith's real father, but it didn't matter, you know. Like, what made it exciting for me was thinking, wow, any one of these characters could be got at any time, and you got to keep your eyes open. Especially here at the end, a way that they could have made this other last season, they could have spent the beginning part of the season, instead of doing that whole bullshit with the Reapers. Remember Daryl's girlfriend's army buddy storyline at the beginning of the season? Ditch that shit. Flesh out this whole Walker's variant thing. Don't just have like one episode, oh, a variant showed up, blah, 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 blah. Like, have this be something that builds over time. Some of them mix in with the Whispers. Have it connect to the Whisper storyline somehow. I don't know. I'm making shit up right now, but whatever. Because the Whispers are blending with the humans, there's some sort of shit going on. Some Craster's baby stuff going on. No, I mean, whatever. But some shit goes on. I mean, we've already sort of introduced that stuff back at Morgan's house with Morgan's wife. So it's not out of nowhere, but you spend a little bit more time fleshing out that idea. And then at the end here, you reintroduce the idea that anybody can get got at any time. And especially in a scene where you build up potentially killing a kid in a really horrific way on your show, and could have actually gotten people to know they killed Judith. They shot her like that, shot her down. And I know people are like, you want to kill a kid, Phil, you vicious bastard. She's not a real kid. The actress is a real person. Yes, I know she's a person, but she's not a real kid. I'm not saying kill human named Judith. I'm saying kill television character named Judith that would create emotional, exciting television moment, watershed moment to show your show, to display that your program, sorry for the redundancy there, to display that your program has a metaphoric testicle or two instead of always wanting to have a parachute. Always wanting to have, sorry to belabor the stupid joke, just another fucking dumpster. And that's all the Judith thing is. That's all the fucking Eugene thing was. If we're going back to episode 22, for those of you that watched that episode. Build up this stupid court case. Eugene. Hi, everybody. This is Eugene. I'm in this court case, and I'm just going to present my case to you all because my love for a woman, you can see that woman sitting over there right there. She loves me. She made me a man. She spread my heart out onto the effervescent elephant that's with tiny eyes and great big trunk that whisper in the air and hair and white cran farrier. You know, we don't know what the fuck you're saying, Eugene, but I know what I'm saying, everybody. Like, no, shut up, dude. But no, we had to go through all of that. We had to take a shit with Eugene's face the whole fucking time. I had to go through that donkey do for it all to be a nothing burger, just to get that one cool line. Let's fuck shit up by Mercer. I'm liking Mercer. He's a fun character, but he's like a wasted potential kind of character too, here and there. But I don't know. I want to be liking it more than I am, but. Excuse me. Sorry. I didn't mean to drink water. I was a little too close to the microphone. Usually I'll try to mute that shit. I don't want to. RJT, great to see you. I have read some of them, but not everyone. Oh, The Walking Dead. Some talks in the live in motherfucking chat about the comics. Okay. Well, I missed a voicemail. Let's see. Bump. Here is a...
Hey, Phil, it's Ruja again.
Do it.
I'm going to keep this call brief because I know I jam around a lot. I would like for you to settle a bet with me, or for me, I should say. Well, I was with a friend, and she asked a question, and I wanted to know if you can settle the bet. Would you ever consider covering or talking about the Harry Potter franchise, or series, I should say? She was curious about that, but I want to know what you would have to say. Settle the bet for me, please. I said please.
Do you know what I would say about that? Experience! Sorry, that was horrible. Of course I would. Wait. Let's see what I'm gonna play. I don't know. I gotta think about this. It's an interesting question that I'm having a little bit of a crisis, maybe a time crisis. I'll be right back. No, sorry. I was looking for my, I actually have like I have a Slytherin shirt. Yeah. No, I would totally talk about Harry Potter. I don't really talk about movies as much or movie series. I might do like a live watch of them or something like that. I think I'm going to play the video game when that comes out and live stream that game. So I would definitely talk about that stuff. I actually just went on a vacation to Universal Orlando and hung out at in all of that in the Harry Potter land. Had a butterbeer, actually rode Hagrid. You know, all the fun stuff you do in Harry Potter land. Bump. There might be at some point fandom. I've heard that. I am gonna play the video game. I'm gonna stream the game. Are we still in spoiler territory? I mean, it's going to be on and off, Sonic. If you're very, very conscious of not wanting episode 23 spoiled for you, then I'd whistle through the graveyard. I'm going to talk about episode 22 more tonight, but people might say what happens. That being said, you want to know the truth of the matter? Nothing happened. Nothing. I mean, there's stuff that happened and changed the subplot of the story, but nothing happened. We didn't really lose anybody. Just a bunch of... Don't sell yourself. We've been in the process of reviewing Back to the Future for years now. It's true. Walking David and I have done the first Back to the Future movie where we're just lining up. We're getting ready. We're this close to doing Back to the Future 2. It's gonna happen. I am a wizard, Harry. I am a wizard, Harry. But Sonic, yeah, we're it's gonna be hard for me not to talk about both episodes. So if you haven't watched episode 23 and you care about spoilers, I would recommend checking out this podcast at a different time. But I will try to always be that guy that says, oh, spoiler, but before I say the thing about the episode. But I can't speak to what David or Joe might do when I bring either of them in here for some shared discussion during our recap. Eventually everything's going to be in a series. I'm on episode 4 of this season. I will be surprised if I remember anything. Phantom says, Phantom, you need a fucking shit buddy to go through this whole situation. Phil, I have not watched them Rings of Power, but I did just watch the whole Lord of the Rings extended edition trilogy this past weekend, which was like, bam! I needed that. I fucking needed that. Thank you, HBO. Thank you for having those. I can't go back. I can't go back to no standard in the theater edition. Okay. I really love 11/23. It made season 11 for me meant to feel really enjoyable. I wonder how things will end up in the final episode. I have to say, Mr. Ozzy, I don't entirely disagree with you. I have some problems with episode 23, but I think it was a good effort. It was definitely the best episode of this half of the season. I just wish that this show had the conviction in its own instincts to do what it should do. It should have killed Judith. Spoiler. Whoops. But spoiler, sorry, Sonic. Spoiler to everybody. They should have killed Judith instead of her obviously going to be okay in the next episode. And I know that's harsh, but it definitely shocked me. And the third shock, again, we're still in spoiler territory for episode 23. The third huge shock was Eugene gaining some balls in episode 23, really bringing it. Actually, but it was a little bit of the George McFly thing. Once he broke through, once he tackled the one guy and beat up the one guy, you see him out in the field beating off. Whoa, yeah. Word choice. So he's in the yard beating off some zombies. Eugene's like, what I'm doing is very perfect. I'm having a very good time. Oh, John, you're amazing. Thank you so much for popping on in here. I very much appreciate it. You guys are incredible. And let's do a Dahmer live stream. I probably should have talked about that show when I binged it a few months back. But I'm not against talking about that, especially on a roundup or something like that. Or a Sunday Night Live where we talk about a bunch of different shows. I'll definitely bring that up. I never know how to do those Netflix series because they're not released week to week. So it's either I binge watch them all and then do this podcast right afterwards, or I do it after every episode, but then everyone's not watching at the same pace. It's a little weird, and I'm not actually binging it, but it was a well-made series, and I look forward to talking about it on a future thing of some kind. Wait, Eugene gave a little walker, he was beating off some walkers in the crowd. Yeah, Eugene beating up the Commonwealth soldier really surprised me. The Lydia thing, I thought the Lydia thing was done really well. The thing about episode 23 is I feel like it had a handful of scenes that actually felt like they meant something. You had the scene with Aaron and Jerry and Lydia when Lydia's arm needed to be cut off. And Aaron and Lydia actually had good emotional connection because Aaron was in that situation before. His everyone will love you. Like this show is sappy as shit, but it worked in that particular moment. It brought some emotional weight to it. The other scene that actually worked for me really well in episode 23 from an acting standpoint and just from a performance standpoint, was the Negan and Ezekiel scene. Possibly because it's personal for me, being a cancer survivor as well. But like the way Ezekiel plays that scene is very true. It's like, I'm not even his little Dante. I'm not even supposed to be here today vibe. And his scene with Negan going back and forth. It actually, I felt emotional weight, and I kind of got into it. I feel like episode 23 has a completely different tone than episode 22 that feels a little too cheesy and ham-fisted. Especially with everyone lining up and standing up in front of Negan and be like, well, if you shoot one of us, you shoot us all. If you shoot Spider-Man, you shoot us. Like that kind of stuff. But episode 23, I'm not going to entirely disagree with Mr. Ozzy here. I had some issues like the higher ground thing. Like the soldiers should have been able to shoot them all down. But... you know, there was enough in 23 that was all right, but I'm not alone. I have with me the one and only Joe Dirty Locks. Welcome to the stream, Joe.
Hey, sorry I'm late again, my man.
Oh no, that's okay. It happens, and at least you were able to make it. Before I go any further with you, I'm just curious. It doesn't matter either way because we're talking about both episodes tonight. Are you caught up through episode 22 or 23? Or you didn't watch? Oh, I'm looking at the smile on Joe's face. Joe has not watched any more Walking Dead episodes.
Then what was required?
Oh, then what was required? Okay, what was required? Okay, at least you watched that one. The look you got in your face that I read in the moment was more dog ate my homework. Like I didn't watch any Walking Dead.
No, I watched tonight's episode.
Okay, so you watched episode 22, the Eugene in the courtroom scene where everyone stands in front of Negan and tries to make everyone feel better about that and protect Negan. So Joe, was this any improvement on what you've seen?
On what? Nope. No, it was horrible. The writing's still bad. Like it's cheesy as fuck. It's what like I still don't understand it. Like the apocalypse happened. Yeah, 20,000 people, city, state thing. Like, I'm sorry. People in those prison camps gotta have family that know their family member is now a slave or some shit, some stupid shit. Like, I don't understand the not knifing that bitch to the back of the head the first chance you get when like I don't know.
No, they had many opportunities. It's just they're situationally like.
Oh, she said he's gone, man. That's convenient.
Yeah, and let's not do.
Super fucking convenient.
Is everyone let me know, is that better? Yes, it's better. Okay, I turned you up.
You turned me?
Oh, I turned you up. I was like Eugene beating off walkers and stuff like that. But yeah, episode 22 was tough for me. You'll see it next week, Joe. Episode 23 is a little bit.
Oh, come on now.
No, we'll talk next week, but I want you to remember the things I'm going to say because from this point on, I'm not going to spoil anything for the episode since Joe is here.
All right.
I think you'll think next week's episode is slightly better.
I mean, only if people like kill off half the tribe.
I mean, that's
because we already know the other half lives, right? Like, so who cares?
Yeah, because we know, as we say, at least 3 of the 4 people that are above me on the screen are surviving characters because they have spin-off series. We have Negan and Maggie's spin-off series, and we have the Daryl spin-off series.
Right, and like as far as everybody else is concerned, does it really matter? Aaron, maybe the deaf kid and chick because Daryl's got investment, but
they're the ones. They're the ones that are probably going and probably dying, or Carol maybe because she she didn't go on to the Daryl series because she changed her mind on the Daryl series. So it could possibly be her.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. It just I thought this episode was extremely boring. It was very slow. It was like just a lot of nothing. It was just a lot of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not incredibly moved by the Eugene courtroom scene, I mean, it was, as people in the live chat were saying earlier, it was as good as My Cousin Vinny. It was like
come on now. No, My Cousin Vinny was fucking awesome. But like this thing here, right? Like just I came in when I logged in here, you were talking about the guards having, the higher ground probably during the Negan scene, right?
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about?
No, there's a scene in the next episode, episode 23, where, but yes, that as well. That they do have the higher ground in that Negan scene. Yeah, a nothing burger with a side of air fries, says Iron Throne.
What I don't understand is why that stupid fucking soldier, he like steps out of line and shoots the other soldier who's lifting his gun rather than just shooting the fucking redhead. Like that would have certainly got the other dude's attention, and then you could shoot him.
Yeah.
Like some of the things they do are just so like they're foolish. Really, just honestly foolish. I don't understand. I just don't understand the writing, man. It's hard to maintain any kind of like anger at the show at this point, or like sadness, or joy.
The anger to
masturbation, man. Chronic masturbation.
Oh my God, are we talking House of Dragon now again? But it's the anger to me is more going to be, I think, in the series finale, because I don't know. I feel like a show that's been on this long and built up so much stuff really needs to build up its excitement and give us a series finale that can be memorable, that can be strong in some ways, and at least try to recapture some of that magic in a series finale of some kind.
But here's the thing. So we learned a lesson back in the introduction to Negan, where it's don't cliffhang us, where we know when we come back someone's dying, and then make it two people, because it doesn't make it any better, or it just, we've already mourned all six. Remember that? Like, you told us the show was ending. You told us who was automatically fucking living. So at this point, over the last however many episodes since you've learned that information, you've already thought about your favorite or secondary character's death, right? Like, so who gives a fuck? They've taken out any kind of surprise, any kind of actual raw emotion that the audience will feel from it, because they've announced that this is the end. This is the end, my friend. Like when you're speeding towards the back of a car and you slam on your brakes and you feel those fucking tires lock up and you start skidding forward, eventually your freezed up, fucking white knuckled, locked elbowed face of shock turns into, all right, here it comes. There it is. Boom. Like eventually the whole, like when you fall out of a plane, how long do you scream for before you just like relax into it?
There's a funny bit in the second Bill and Ted movie where they're both falling down the giant hole, and they fall and they're screaming, and then they stop screaming,
take a nice big breath and scream
and then start screaming again. Yeah, it's
exactly. So like when you do this with a series like they're doing now, like they did with Glenn and Abraham's death, it takes any kind of audience emotion really out of it. Any raw emotion that you're going to have, anything that you're trying to elicit from your audience is gone. Like you've destroyed it. None of it makes any sense to me.
It's just another dumpster. And it's unfortunately something that The Walking Dead has gotten into a bad habit of doing. And David mentioned this on one of his calls, that The Walking Dead got into a bad habit of making all these promises that everything was going to sort of run downhill to a mid-season finale, series finale. We're going to do something big. Some, big characters are going to go. Huge things are going to happen. And they never actually do it. They never get it to a point where they'll do the bare minimum, like a little tiny thing, and then get you into the next season, and then keep you going, and never. It's like all jerk off and never come, all edging and no finish.
It's not even. You don't even get to like the edge.
Yeah, no, they don't even. Exactly, they don't even.
You know what it is? It's Coke dick, dude.
It's dry. It's
whiskey dick.
It's dry whiskey Coke dick.
It's whiskey dick, man. It's she's out. She's splayed in front of you. She's telling you, let's do this, and you're like, I took one too many shots of whiskey.
Monkey Monk says, don't hold back, Joe. We all agree with you. Dumpster fire. That's what I'm really hoping, that they kill off Daryl in the final episode. It would be ballsy, at least. Tari Dad, I think, is one of the few people that is hoping some of these spin-off announcements are fake. That they did these to throw you off. I would love, again, that's something I would applaud.
And it's Carol that's going into Europe and not Daryl, and they did this all as a hoax.
Would you applaud the show if it did something like that, if it killed one of these characters and it was all just smoke and mirrors to push you away from the sand? I would. I give the show credit. I give a little.
No, because that has nothing to do with the fucking show. That's your publicist. That's your fucking.
That's part of it.
No, that's not. Because if you don't follow the rags, if you don't listen to the fucking twits and the twats online, then none of that.
Okay, Billy Butcher. You just turned into Billy Butcher. Okay, you cunt. Like what?
The twits and twats.
Yeah,
no, because
listen,
it's not. If you don't listen to any of that shit, if you don't read any of that shit, then none of that matters. Only the show matters. Only the show matters. And with doing that, it shows that your writing is that bad. Everything else about your show is that bad that in order to keep your audience engaged, you have to do some sort of fucking social media or like just I don't even know what to call that. Like
just
doesn't make like again. You're basically saying the only way we could keep our fans was to trick them into watching.
I mean, ultimately at this point, that you have to almost trick people to come back in to try to make something out of this finale to do something.
That's because your show sucks.
And it sucked for years, like to the point where you've alienated a lot of people and you've built a new audience of fans.
So what are you going to do? You're going to trick them into coming back to watch something that still sucks. And all you're going to do is get fucking shit on for it.
Do you know what I learned this week, Joe, from doing some research? Because just going in places I shouldn't go, the dark places of middle internet. There are people that still really, really love The Walking Dead. And they get very, but like there's a lot, and they're very vocal about that the show is almost in its best stretch right now.
Yeah, I know, Phil, but before we go there,
I'm not one of them.
Swear that all those WB like superhero shows are the best ever.
Don't start shit talking Flash here.
There you go, dude. Like a show is a show for what the show is, but
right.
Like,
okay, no, and fair enough.
And like super fans are super fans, and you're never gonna be able to piss enough in their fucking cornflakes for it to be a bad deal.
Unless it's Game of Thrones season 8. But with
right. They fucking certainly did
they did that.
The cornflakes.
They pissed the cornflakes, and everyone went this. No one ate it. Everyone goes, this is fucking weird.
They started pissing in season 5 and they didn't finish until.
But why didn't the same thing happen with The Walking Dead? How come The Walking Dead has maintained the zombies of fans or the legions of fans where other shows would have had to pay the piper of this? Has The Walking Dead more become a Beverly Hills 90210 of television and not big enough and not important enough to warrant the vitriolic hate? Like it sort of, instead of going out with a big bang, dying on the toilet in the bathtub like Jim Morrison, it faded out and started making shitty music in the 80s and turned into an easy listening artist where they used to be a punk rocker or something. Like, did the show just become too homogenized to matter? You know what I mean? Like, is that why no one cares? Because it's the finale. Either you're loving it and you're into it, or you don't care. You're apathetic to it. No one, because to your point, no one cares. No, we're not angry about this. We're just like, what's the fun?
Right. You're either in one camp or you're in the other. You're either in the I watch and you watch, right? Like we watch for a different reason.
We watch for sunk cost fallacy. We've come this far. We were gonna quit. We've quit many times. But we're idiots. Yeah,
at this point we can't.
We've come this far. Like, I would rather not be. I would love to be talking to Joe, but I got invited on another stream and another channel site talking about fun stuff, and I don't want to be. I'm like, I gotta sit here and talk about The Walking fucking Dead. You know, like it's like. I love talking to Joe and David. We could pop David in here in a little bit. I love talking to David, but it's you know, it is.
The subject matter is tedious.
Oh, it's like come on, like
nails on the chalkboard.
Dude, I had to watch a Walking Dead episode today, and it was 2. I watched 2 today because I watched 22 again just so it was fresh in my mind, and I watched 23. And this is my last opportunity, just in case you were thinking about getting AMC Plus to watch the final episode of The Walking Dead 1 week early. You cannot. They're not doing that. I
didn't think they would.
They're holding on to the finale and releasing that for everyone the last time. Does anyone watch The Walking Dead because they like it? Yes.
And here's the thing. So there are people that do that. And so you're either in the camp that watch it because they like it, or you're in the camp that just doesn't watch it and doesn't care anymore, who maybe used to watch it, who maybe used to really like it, who has fond memories, but knows it's not what it was, or it's just not your interest anymore. Right. So none of it matters. So the only people watching at this point are the people that have continuously been watching, or like new kids that are fans and shit. That
now Max in the live chat says there's only 1 episode left, but the story like only starts. It's just sad that The Walking Dead ends. I grew up with this serial. Sorry for my English. I'm from Ukraine. No, don't be sorry, dude. And that's the thing. Like, that's another reason to watch the show, and that's why Joe and I watch it. It's the sunk cost fallacy. We watch it because we've watched it for so long. It has some relevance.
10 years.
And Max,
11 years.
Max in the live chat from Ukraine. Thank you so much for popping in this live chat. Lots of love from us to you, my friend. The Walking Dead's not ending. This is a smoke and mirrors show. I think this is the best thing. Like, Dr. Phil and Dr. Joe are here to talk to you, and I think this is the best thing the doctor could order for The Walking Dead. You have more of a chance of there actually being good Walking Dead stories moving forward in the Rick Grimes series alone, the Maggie and Negan series alone. I think the Daryl series is going to be shit, but whatever. Or the Daryl series, like individually, those on a shorter story, not resigned to having to do big season arcs, can kind of be one-offs. You have more of a chance to just create a story that's going to be a one single decent story and just do it in that way. I'm excited to see New York in a zombie apocalypse of The Walking Dead kind of thing with Maggie and Negan. I think that has some potential to be visually interesting and a unique kind of experience of watching. So The Walking Dead proper may be ending, Max SK, but The Walking Dead's going to be here for a long, long time. It's not going anywhere. This franchise on AMC is going to be, as long as they have their core audience, that audience Joe's talking about,
here's the thing, Phil. I tell you this right now.
There's a lot of people that still watch the show and love it.
Their audience is going to get fucking destroyed. In 2 months, there will be no Walking Dead fans on the fucking planet.
We are gonna talk about that in a second, Joe.
You will not watch any of the spinoffs. You'll be like, nope, done, nope. This is nope, yep, nope. That what I think you're about to like. Hopefully, this is what I'm hoping you see. Remember all the brutality of like, never mind. I don't even.
No, we'll talk. No, we'll be.
I just can't wait for that shit,
right,
man.
And we'll be out. We'll be out here.
25th.
It's the 15th, actually, January 15th, or 16th.
I thought it was the 25th.
It's either the 15th or the 16th, whichever day is.
January 25th.
No, 15th or 16th, I believe.
January 25th.
Okay, I trust you. Either way,
I don't know.
Either way, we're gonna be talking about it that night. They released a full teaser too, where you can actually see in-game footage, so to speak. If you, we
I
will,
mean, another one?
I believe so. Unless it's the one you saw, it's pretty long, and like it shows some live action footage of everything. You can.
Well,
it's
I
on.
know there's been one out for like a couple months, but like, is there another one out now?
I
Like,
mean,
is there?
it might be. This is the
another
first.
one out now?
This is the first one I watched, and you can actually see it on the HBO app. People can tell, but Joe's wanting to turn off the stream right now. And
Dude, I'm like, you don't understand the one that came out the other day. Like, I just finished playing both games over again. I grounded moded The Last of Us 2 just now, and 2 nights ago I got my my permadeath win. That's right, motherfucker.
so Joe, what isn't a permadeath? Let's get into this stuff because I want to get into talking about this damn episode.
Walking Dead needs permadeath. Fucking
Recap. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into our recap here. Speaking of permadeath, where is this at?
Can't wait for The Last of Us.
Permadeath, Walking Dead. I know, Joe. Joe's getting excited talking about a good show. But we're not alone, Joe. For our recap section of this show, we're joined by a third guest. It's gonna be a little. I'm not sure how this is visually gonna look, because this is the first multiple guest thing we've done in a while with this new setup. But
I'm gonna keep my camera off for a bit, and come in when I want to tell David how he's wrong.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
We got
Good to see you, David.
we got the Walker David, and let me move this over a little bit and move David and.
Oh, Joe, I've got to just say, can people hear me now? Or
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right, good. Well, I'll just say this: I have not been a sycophant the last few years, so. I promise you, like I'm not under any delusion to this. If you listen to my voicemail that I just left, you'll see what I mean.
I mean, we can.
I know.
Play it because I don't know if I can say it the same way that I said.
Okay, let's start with.
Here's the thing about. Let me just get this one thing said. All three of us here, we've been watching this show since it started, and no matter what, like any of the hate and anger or venom or that comes from any of us about this show, it comes from a place of just lost love.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's 100% true, because it's just like, you know, everybody in your life, people eventually will let you down at some point. But here's the thing: most of the time they make up for it. They apologize. They do better. They learn. They grow. They don't continue to get worse. They don't continue going like, I'm sorry that I fucked your girlfriend. Now I'm gonna fuck your mom.
Right. Somehow they got promotions after doing it too.
they are failing upwards, which is an amazing Hollywood trait. It's like, I was a hairdresser, now I produce for Warner Brothers.
Oh my goodness. And it's true. It is a messy situation, and it seems like within it they got like promoted from within. Scott Gimple replaced himself with Angela King, who basically did the same thing Gimple did, except a little bit less organized. And
they got rid of the brains behind it all before anything.
Yeah. So speaking of brains, let's listen to what David had to say here. From we got David from I think he's from where's David from? Oklahoma?
I don't know. Let's see.
What's up, Phil? How you doing, Joe? Good to see you, bud.
Good
what
to
I
see
was
you,
gonna
David.
say, this is speaking to the notion of like, how does The Walking Dead maintain its fan base? Well, literally, most of them are brain dead zombies, and this is coming from somebody who has a large Walking Dead specific niche. I've got like 70,000 people who follow me, and at least 40 to 50,000 of those, even though they've already asked, keep going, what's your favorite season? Who's your favorite character that has a crossbow? Like, there's more than one, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's like Joe said, you can't piss in their cornflakes enough. They're beyond sycophantic. A lot of the fan base now is actually not the older people who are in it like us. It's younger people who are now binge watching it on Netflix. And with people with shorter and shorter attention spans who can't keep track of too many names, like the House of the Dragon, like just confuses them because There's just too many houses. I'm so exhausted by having to remember things in shows and storylines. They love this stuff because characters aren't saying anything.
Dude, I'm just gonna cut you off and play you again, but that's absolutely true because it also gets in a situation where there seems to be this consistency in the moment now. Oh, cool, this worked out better with I've never seen this particular camera with the two things side by side work, but this actually works really well. Joe, we see the two sides of Joe Dirty Locks' personality right now. But what the fuck were you just saying here?
Of importance in any episode. Every episode is Gimple speak. Every single episode is just in any episode saying anything of having to remember things in shows.
Oh yeah, people. Yeah, I'm talking about attention span, and I don't have an attention span. But also where everything.
Part of the problem, Phil.
Yeah, I'm part of the problem. Where people can't. You can't complain about things like everything has an audience. So even things that are bad are beyond reproach. So if you like something, it's not bad. It's just not your taste, man.
It's just not for you. I didn't make it for you then.
Yeah, it's really weird. They're almost taking on this like old Mexican lady notion of like my novellas are on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
my stories.
It's their shitty zombie soap opera where everybody's done everything awful. Like every character on a soap opera is inherently awful. They, kick their grandmother down the stairs and they've jammed a baby in an elevator door, and
Jesse Spano people.
This show. All of these people deserve to die like 10 times over. And the reason why they feel like they can't kill them off because they're too beloved.
That's like Negan tonight. They told you all the ways Negan deserved to die in tonight's episode. You don't deserve to have a father. You forget what you don't even know what you did to me and everybody else, and all the raped women and forced wives and all this shit, right? Like,
right. By the way,
brings me to another point you made real quick.
Yeah.
How do you binge this show and get to the Negan introduction and binge like fucking 7 hours of Negan just shitting into the camera?
Cocky,
like
locky.
7 hours,
it's
almost straight.
This was something that like years ago, people that like I agreed with Joe on like 100%, which was Negan gave the same speech in season 7 and 8 like 15 times
at least.
And it's just because it was like literally they had a new writer every episode and the old one didn't watch or read the old episode. So they had him say the same thing again because they didn't know he already said it.
Yeah, nobody who wrote this Commonwealth shit watched the Governor episodes. Or they were like, maybe we can just do the Governor better
maybe
this
we can
time.
do it again. You know what it is? It's also shit like not to get into it really, but like Star Wars, how they're like, we're going to make this Rey character, that first movie is going to be like a remake of The New Hope. And it's like, yeah, because the young fan base doesn't know what the fuck original Star Wars is. They just want
everyone. They need something that's theirs because anything that's of a certain generation is too old. Like
you can't watch that.
You can't watch that.
Special effects.
Things can't have existed before you.
It's because
there is no world before you. It only matters what you see right now. So pre-existing storylines
exactly.
and shows are out of the question.
And I know we sound like the old men on the mountain thing, but what's true about this from a real certain extent, and I'm being honest. It's because of the acceptance of reboots. Oh, we can just reboot that and everything.
Yeah.
Because by doing that, by constantly remaking things and things that don't need to be remade. And the famous answers, well, Scarface was a remake, well, Cape Fear was a remake. Those were different situations where they were movies in like the 40s or like early movies that got remade in completely different ways.
Dude. I'm gonna stop you right there. Like, when they start remaking movies because it was the 40s and now it's the 80s, remember, it was the 80s and now it's the 20s.
I'm not talking about that, though.
That's the same 40-year period. Like...
Joe, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about making a Spider-Man movie 4 years away from each other.
Right. Okay. That's different.
Making 10 different freaking Batman movies.
I know exactly what you mean. Here's
not
what
like
I think you're getting at, and I know Joe would agree with too. Which is, it's one thing to reboot or remake something that was an attempt and it was bad, and remake it to where it is now a classic. It is the best version of itself. Like, they've made the movie A Star Is Born like 7 times.
Yeah, 7 different times.
Yeah, but keep ramming Fantastic Four down our throats.
Right. Guess what? Nobody after the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, even the third one, wanted to see that shit again. Not one person goes, you know what, I want more of that. But they did it as an attempt, and ever since they reattempted it with the Amazing Spider-Man, now they've had like 4 new Spider-Man to the point where they go, now we have to appease everyone. Let's put them all in the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Let's
Just bring them all back.
But that worked so well.
It was pretty good. It was
It
pretty
was
good.
fucking
No,
awesome.
it was good, but like because that was good, now you're gonna see every asshole that can't pull it off try it. You see the
Right, but that
CW
was
trying it. No,
brilliant writing.
that really
was brilliant.
That and the cartoon animated Into the Spider-Verse were both excellently made. But to get back, unfortunately, to The Walking Dead, episode 22. Now, it starts off with those stupid flashbacks. How do you guys feel about the building of the epicness of the season with the flashbacks at the beginning of every episode that we get of like the Negan in this last one? David?
I have something to say, Professor.
Yes,
you know
David.
what reminds me of? The very first time, not even now, but the very first time they did it, I go, oh no. They're doing a Game of Thrones season 8 before Dany destroys King's Landing, where they go, we haven't set any of this up, so we're going to do it in narration, which is like what you used to do in really bad B movies where an actor died and you had to fill in story because they didn't make it.
David, the stuff that they watch on Best of the Worst, like shit like that.
100%. Where you're going, okay, we have footage of Robert Carradine who's playing a monk. How do we write a story about yeah, it's
sorry, doing my Robert my Carradine Revenge of the Nerds laugh. So we start off with these stupid flashbacks, and it's focused on Negan this time. He sure has come a long way. Okay, just for the record, what I'm reading is not my words. It's from like celebrity zombie lickmyass.com or something. You know, like one of those sites.
Dude, you don't have to read it.
I want to read it. You recap it, Joe.
I can recap.
Recap it, Joe.
It starts off on watching Negan do stupid shit, and the little girl saying her little speech about fucking mercy and hope rather than cruelty and
yes,
shit.
It's beautiful.
Right? Like,
it's a beautiful moment between.
It's stupid.
It's so beautiful. Okay, so the two main storylines in this episode, are with Negan's group in the labor camp, regrouping with Carol's group in the trial of Eugene. There's also a storyline with Lydia and the Oceanside people, who I really care so much about. We care so much about Oceanside that we get we get these people running up. Oh, Oceanside got destroyed. We're the last remaining survivors.
How does that dude sneak up on any of these guys?
By the way, I've got to say this, just for anybody who's maybe a fan of mine watching, I hate it when people say that I look like this guy.
You don't look like, dude.
You do not look like.
You do not.
I do not,
David.
Okay, this is what I mean. They have no object, motherfucking permanent.
Dude. People tell me I look like
Counting Crows guy.
Malone.
Post Malone.
I get Post Malone too. Okay,
you look more like.
Look at us. We both look like Post Malone.
Yeah, you both look more like. You both look like Post Malone.
And when I was young, I got Zach De La Rocca all the time, but Jonathan Davis most.
Oh yeah, you do look like Jonathan Davis though. You do.
Okay,
I say that.
I'll say this.
Go banga boomba
He wishes he fucking looked like me.
Yeah, dude.
Wishes.
Dude needs to get to the gym if he wants to look like Walking David.
By the way, I've said this before, and Phil, I'm gonna say it fucking again. These fucking fat people in the apocalypse can go fuck.
No, and that's something I gotta tell you. Like here's the thing: you want this show, you want to be on this show. We will kill your character if you don't lose 50 pounds by the end of the second season.
I fucking
That's
miss you,
like
Joe.
write that into the contract, because that makes for the reality. And I can understand.
Guys, leave Hurley from Lost alone. Leave Hurley from Lost alone.
No, here's the thing. I can understand that there's all sorts of like you can't do that about people's weight. You can't talk about that kind of, so you can't fire someone over that. But like you kind of can, because you're trying to make something that's artistic, and that's 100%. Where you can get around it in the contracts if you write it in beforehand and don't say, oh well, I know there's nothing in this contract, but like you put on 5 pounds, you're fired. 10 pounds, 20 pounds.
But and
whatever it is.
also they could insure it to where it's just like with these Marvel movies, they give these actors a nutritionist, the best dietitian in the world.
Yep.
They go, we are going to keep you healthy and happy. It's not going to be about that. And during the off season when we're not shooting, you can do whatever you want. But the fact of the matter is, just like a boxer, you have to make weight.
Yep.
And it's just part of, if they can do it in boxing, then they can do it for a show. Now, because imagine if you were a boxing show. Imagine that's what they were filming on HBO, and they just had some fat sack of shit who's like Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? You're like, oh,
playing McConnor.
Now, David, just for the record, this guy that the people tell you look like, just got off playing.
And hold on.
No,
hold on.
wait, Joe.
He's not fat. He's just big.
He's big boned. He's not fat. He's big boned. But he just got off playing Francis Ford Coppola in the Offer series. Do you look like Francis Ford Coppola? No.
I look more like him than that guy.
Maybe.
You know what? I'll say this. I looked him up. His name's Dan Fogler, and I've looked him up before. And in fairness, he kind of looks like Francis Ford Coppola. A little bit. But here's the thing,
he was better in that than
Coppola did not weigh 3 bills. Okay. No. When he filmed The Godfather, he was like 170 pounds.
I don't think that dude weighs 3. But I weighed 310 at my biggest, and you saw me at that size on the show.
260.
You guys are
which
you guys
is about
are
30 pounds more than me right now.
All right, so 260. He's a thick boy.
But I'm also probably like 3 or 4 inches taller than him.
Like,
he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
Okay.
They even said 2 years ago, if they just go like, he's got light on his feet, that would have been good enough.
All that aside, guys, let's get down to the important thing. I don't give a shit about his character. I don't give a shit about his character, Joe.
Right now, show us the 6-pack.
Joe, I don't give a living shit about his character. I don't care about those oceans. I forgot he even existed. Was anyone sitting there waiting for him to show up? Like
all the Oceanside people, that's the one that like you brought back. Yeah. Why him over any of the other Oceanside people?
Oh, and Oltorf, I also really like The Offer. I thought that was a really good. It didn't take itself too seriously, and it was kind of a fun little romp.
Didn't watch it, couldn't watch it, won't watch it. I think that's like the stupidest thing ever.
What, The Making of The Godfather?
Yes. I can't wait for them to do now. They're going to do like the making of what's that other fat guy in DiCaprio movie.
Other fat guy in DiCaprio movie. Wait.
What's that with the stocks?
Are we playing Password
and all that shit?
Joe Dirt.
What's that?
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, that's
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. They're gonna do a
David.
Making of that
We
movie,
want
and they're gonna dramatize that because that's a pretty fucking rad story how that got made.
Because Martin Scorsese hung out with the mob to help get the movie made.
Yeah, come on now. Who cares?
But Joe Colombo cares, Joe. Okay, so
nobody cares.
The two main storylines of the episode are
Driving Miss Daisy, as somebody said.
Check out the Weird Al movie. Igor says really fun. The Weird Al movie. It's on the Roku app if people haven't watched it. I don't want to say too much about it because it's much better if you go into it not knowing what to expect.
With what?
The Weird Al biopic with Daniel Radcliffe. I did like his character, but they kind of stopped caring. Oltorf, I'm with you. I enjoyed it. Yes, Balls of Fury guy, John Haymaker. And
Balls of Fury, yes.
And
that was actually kind
Kara, to your question in the live chat,
that was amazing.
I don't think they're actually going to do that. But anyways, the two main storylines in this episode is Negan's group in the labor camp, Carol's group in the trial of Eugene, and all these super Oceanside douchebags. The 3 storylines, this is what this person said in this article, all 3 storylines are equally as exciting and packed with some zingers.
Oh my God. Is that written by Scott Gimple?
That's half true. They are all equally exciting in that they're not exciting at all.
No. I argue that the Eugene one is way worse.
That leaf sounded human.
I would argue that the Eugene storyline is 10 times worse than the other storylines.
Dude, that's brutal, that fucking article.
Yeah. Oh God. We're continuing though. At the labor camp, Negan, Ezekiel, Annie. Oh wow, that's her name. Magna and Kelly.
Okay. Stop.
Okay, Pesci. Okay, Pesci. What? You want to make this last longer, Joe? Let's go.
Well, no. This is a suggestion. We just find these articles and we just shit on these articles and why they're wrong
Instead of watching the show.
instead of watching the show.
I'm with you. Genius.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, then, Joe. Because
Right? Like, we can watch the show and shit on the show, but like,
we
got to shit on the people that like it too.
Well, John Haymaker, I wonder who he's asking this. Can any of you guys do a Christopher Walken impression? I don't know, Joe. Is this our impression off?
Too nice.
Here we go.
Too nice. Too nice. Follow some cream.
That's Joe's Christopher Walken impression.
Nice.
Everyone vote in the chat with a thumbs up if you think Joe's should win. Now, David, your Christopher Walken impression.
There was this guy.
I lost right there.
You're done. That's all you need to do. Okay, Joe conceded.
Guy. Yeah.
Do you?
I could see Christopher Walken all over his fucking face and teeth when he fucking did that. Holy shit.
You can see David's whole body. He's like, this is a competition. I'm gonna fucking slam.
We had a couple of friends that would just talk to each other in Christopher Walken. You remember Chop and Bob?
Oh yeah, dude. That's
they would just fucking talk to each other in Christopher Walken fucking for like 5-10 minutes straight, just quoting them or just random shit. It was
what was
hilarious.
that name of that movie that where a bunch of kids, including the dude from Roseanne, kidnap him? They kidnap Christopher Walken.
Oh, Seven.
They would quote that movie all the time, specifically
No,
that movie.
it was.
It's Seven something.
People up his ass. Joe is. Sandroke says Joe is right. Those are Joe's favorite words. So at the labor camp, Negan and all these people and the others are planning their getaway plot of the guard shift rotation, but Negan can't seem to keep his big mouth shut and gets himself in trouble with the troopers. At first, I thought this was meant to be a distraction for what ultimately would be the escape, but it wasn't. He was just being Negan. So was this all a plan from Negan? Did you enjoy the Negan-ness of this all, David and Joe?
Joe.
Well, I don't think this was a plan of Negan's to like. I think
Suicide
later on
case.
when he has that little like tat-a-tat with the king there, he decides, I'm going to do what I'm going to do to save my kid's life. You're right. I don't deserve to be a father or any of that shit. So he goes to say, it was all me.
Yeah.
I said this because since I know we're kind of doing it like we're saying this is episode 23, but we're doing 22.
Yeah. We're doing
like last week. I had said this when
you can talk about either, David.
came on. Well, I was saying that it was like super childlike. Like it was written like how would children argue. Like an adult doesn't go, "You're gonna be a bad dad, Negan," and then Negan just goes, "Well, I hate to tell you, I'm gonna be a great dad, and you're gonna watch." Like you're going, okay. This is a conversation that these characters would never have, or had probably should have already had a million times.
Like they've been around each other for 7 years now, 8 years or some shit like that.
Yeah, and it's also like I totally get like it makes sense that like Ezekiel would have way more issue with him than like even Maggie did because he had his people shot and dead on top of him.
And I love, I gotta say, I love how Negan doesn't even remember. Like he's like, you don't even remember what you did. And he's like, I don't know, I killed a lot of people. It's almost like the M. Bison line in Street Fighter. Oh, you remember the day that Bison blessed your village when I murdered all your people. But it's like a funny line by Raul Julia. But that was the greatest day of your life. But to me, it was just a Tuesday. Negan's kind of like that, and I kind of liked his attitude where.
But it's also kind of bordering in terms of seriousness. Like, hey, buddy, a lot of people's girlfriends are in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the impact that had. It was very just kind of like, all right, well, moving on, and I don't know. There's not enough respect to the audience given that they could keep track of things to where characters are repeating themselves to each character. And so the whole episode could have been cut down to 8 minutes just because everybody's saying the same three
David, absolutely.
We got to stand up and do what's right from like 40
different people in 40 different situations. And they're redoing this. Negan had to do this with every single character. I do like retro in the live chat. This new Negan calling him Negan the vegan. I like that. A couple people in the live chat are Atari Dads. Speaking of walking, have any of you guys seen Severance? Great show, completely worth it. Severance is probably my favorite new show of last year. I'm going to definitely cover it. I'll try to get Joe to watch it as well at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's really good. It's made by Ben Stiller and his creative team, starring Adam Scott, Christopher Walken's in it, John Turturro, a couple of other people that you would know, but it's really weird and interesting. Well done. Ben Stiller makes good stuff. And I always enjoy his content, even if it's makes you think and makes you laugh at the same time. And this series does the same. It's real, and visually it's really cool too. It gives you this warning before every episode that may cause seizures because of flashing lights, and it definitely at times makes you. It has a lot of like Jackie Brown hallway walking that kind of messes with your head a little bit. Anyways. So Negan he can't keep his mouth shut, but his stunt did give him some FaceTime with the warden, and it allows Negan to get a better glimpse of what this dude is like. And they're trying to set up the parallels on no one can out Negan. You know, when he's sitting there with the other bad guy, it's Negan's just like fuck. And he turns it around and he's like,
it was awful.
These people
dude has
don't
no
like
business. I'm sorry. That was some of the worst acting on The Walking Dead coming from that redhead. Like every time he was on scene, I thought,
oh, you mean
absolutely
the head of the jail guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very theatrical. Like everything.
Awful. Not even. I thought it was flat.
I mean, he's like that in a lot of stuff. Like he was in the movie The Greatest Game Ever Played, and he literally has a line where he's talking about winning the U.S. Open. He goes, "We want our cup back." like it's really like everything about that.
Awful in everything I've ever seen him in. He's one of the worst actors.
And he looks just like that Gleason character, who's like, he looks just like a good actor.
Jackie Gleason.
Like Jackie Gleason.
Is that the other redhead who's like in like?
No. Jackie Gleason is
that's
the
Honeymooners. That's the Honeymooners.
Or the kid from Game of Thrones. Both.
It's Domhnall Gleason.
Donald Gleason.
All right, but he looks just like that guy.
Who's Donald Gleason?
Someone in the live chat called him that Ron Weasley looking guy is not intimidating. That's good.
The one that's Donald is. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and there are ways, people, of writing somebody for an episode where they can have a huge impact on the story, affect our characters, make you fear them and give a shit. And all. Look, remember Eastman?
Yep.
When Morgan met Eastman, it was one episode, and it's one of the best episodes.
Who?
He's the chicken dude, right?
Well, he taught with the bow staff.
The ninja guy, yeah, the Ninja Turtle dude, the bald guy with that taught him how to fight with the bow staff.
Oh, Stephen Fry.
Yeah, it's not Stephen Fry.
John Carroll Lynch.
John Carroll Lynch.
Who? Morgan?
Aaron? What?
Who the fuck did you? Who are we talking about?
There's
a character.
Joe. There's a single Morgan episode where you see where Morgan got his training, and he goes and
from the cheese guy.
The cheese guy, yes.
That was Stephen Fry.
No, it wasn't. Stephen Fry is a British dude, Joe.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Right. That was the Jim Carrey guy, right?
Yeah.
I was getting him. Okay, wow.
Stephen Fry is like a big British guy that was in like Nuns on the Run and shit like that. I think he was in that movie and shit like that.
Well, they're similar. They got a similar thing going on.
The whole reason I brought that guy up.
Thank you. Okay, now, okay, yeah. Thank you.
He taught our main character.
Get Joe a drink.
Back to the show. He taught him a lesson. He was wise. He was coherent and intelligent and had interesting insight. He provided Morgan, at least for a season and a half or so, of his mentality going into the next season.
Yep, he informed it. Yep. And
he carried all of that through into the next season to the rest of the show. He's using the bow staff the rest of the time. He's doing the all life is precious bullshit, which came from that guy.
Now,
it's like it at least had somewhat of a through line.
Now,
but this guy is a flat one note.
Nothing.
Eric,
absolutely.
And then he says, "I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna go do it over there now."
It's just really, it's really stupid. And Retro says, how are they going to wrap, and this is, I guess, more for David because he saw episode 23 as well, but how are they going to wrap up the show while laying the tracks for new shows? I think they're going to leave more questions than new answers. Do you think they're going to actually wrap this up? And David, do you think they set things up enough?
It's not a wrap up. It's continuing on to next season. They're just changing the title. Like, I don't know, like, it's splitting it in two. All the other, like, spin-off series are spin-off series, but this is just like the continuation with these characters going their separate ways.
You're right, David.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm kidding.
No, I want to hear Joe's opinion.
I want to hear Joe's opinion too. I'm kidding. I'm just fucking with him. But good point, Joe. Good point. But how are they going to wrap things up? Do you think they set things up in episode 23 going into the final episode? You saw 23. You saw like basically what happened. Are you without too spoilers for anyone that doesn't want to get, Joe doesn't want to hear what happens, of course.
No, I don't care.
I have a perfect short sentence to sum up how I feel about how that's going to wrap up.
Yep.
AMC, you are fucked.
Yeah.
You are so fucked. You might be the most fucked person I know. I don't know how the fuck you're going to wrap this shit up. You have painted yourself into multiple corners somehow.
Multiple.
And I don't even know how you're going to get out of it.
They have to do 3 backdoor pilots, and they kind of started to with Negan and Maggie in this episode, where it's like you and I are a team, we can get shit done. Just because they needed to sort of start to hint that they're going to go away somewhere at some point, but they're fucked. MGS GTA 3 in the live chat says anyone with 2 brain cells can tell the spinoffs are a massive waste of money.
Well, I've got to say this because this happened. I was catching my parents up. This was back, I think, 2 episodes ago. So maybe 21. And I was catching my parents up. And it's the episode where Daryl has the knife to Lance Hornsby's throat.
Yeah, Horny.
Okay? So he hasn't stabbed him yet. He's just got him at the thing. I saw a trailer that showed the next week's episode and Daryl with his knife up to his throat 10 minutes before that even happened. In that episode. So there was a spoiler in a trailer during the episode of the episode.
Dude, that's pathetic.
And I'm like, that's because they have checked out. They have checked out in terms of going like they are doing a total D&D of this.
Yeah.
Going, we have other shows we need to start writing for. And I mean, AMC, I hope for your sake you are not using the same writers. I hope you do a House of Dragon and you go find some other people.
No, they need to find new, exciting, creative teams. Oh, we got Brazil in the live chat with Jeeb from Brazil, who will be right back. Great to have you in the live chat. So Negan spent some time with Negan acts like a fucking fool this whole episode where he's just like, give my wife some more free time, give my wife this, give my wife that. So was his whole plan, ultimately his whole plan was just to get both of them shot? Like, because that's what it led to. If it wasn't for those stupidest, douchey, like cheesiest moments since like Saved by the Bell, when Zach hugged Jesse when she was saying, "I'm so excited," that when everyone stands in front of Negan and his wife and are like, "If you shoot us, you shoot everybody." Was Negan's plan the whole time to guilt emotionally guilt Ezekiel into doing that, or was he just lucky?
This is writing scenes that you want to see.
You want to see that thing, the visual.
And then trying to figure out, how do we even get to that? And then they go, doesn't matter.
Just do it.
Like, because they made it, the editing of that episode made it seem like
we are so in the Walking Dead writing room.
Like that him and the redheaded guy had an arrangement. He had beat him up to make it look like he was going to do it. And the whole time he was really going to kill somebody else.
Yep.
Like he was going to shock somebody and kill Ezekiel while he was standing there before he even walked out in front of him.
Dude,
before that ever
talk
happened.
about horrible writing too. One of the worst moments was when when Ron Weasley, the Ron Weasley guard, says to the other guard who's on the fence about switching sides, your transfer didn't go through, right in front of Negan. You're talking about company business in front of the enemy dude.
Prisoners. Let me show you who's weak here.
Yeah.
Let me show you who's going to take your bribes and your offers.
And they just did it just happens to be the guy that Negan approached to bribe earlier, brings him into the office, and he gets sort of demoted or says you don't get your transfer right in front of Negan. And it was just it was a very convenient moment. So to David's point, I think they got the visual in their mind. It would be a really great visual to get everyone standing protecting Negan and his wife. How do we get there? Instead of designing visual cues around where the story goes naturally.
And it's, once again, fuck me. I mean, I could write this so much better. It's not even funny.
I think we are in
my eyes
from,
closed and my non-dominant hand. I could do so much better than this. It hurts my brain.
David, I have no doubt you're a great writer, but I think you should hold yourself to a higher standard.
Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And
I'm kidding.
Right.
Like,
David's right. And this is why.
David is definitely right.
Because if they're gonna do this kind of silly shit,
like,
right?
of course you could. A 6-year-old could write better shit, David.
But here's the thing: if they're gonna do this kind of silly shit, why not just set it off 4 episodes earlier and like have your instead of like doing all this, like round them all up. We already know they're evil. We already know they're doing bad shit. We already know they're going to kill Eugene. We already know all this stuff, right?
Yeah. Why all the foreplay?
So why not just, we already know that our team is a team of badasses that have taken out many other teams and have gone full war many times and have no qualms about fucking
against
doing
teams
it
that were bigger than them before. Yeah, against teams that were bigger than them before.
Right.
They were
So
taken down.
Yep. When that shit went down with Eugene, why not just fucking go all out and make this a fucking 4 or 5 episodes of just straight action, none of this plot and bullshit. Have you start killing them off 1 or 2 a week. Fucking boom, 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 boom.
Yep. Yeah.
Done.
Okay. And I completely agree. I'm going to go back on something and then hit on what Joe just said. Okay. It's
same thing.
Yeah, same diff.
Similar. Yeah. We'll take it.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Dude, we're from Boston. It doesn't matter.
It's literally in their head. Like you said, it's all for the marketing people. It's kind of reminds me of how Suicide Squad was edited by a trailer house. That's the same thing that's happening with The Walking Dead. Everything is set up for a trailer. It's not set up for actual meat and storyline. Because you get that imagery, right? Negan slowly gets slammed in the snow onto his knees. And he goes, "No, we had a deal." And then you hard cut and Daryl's like, "Hey, tell me where he is." And he's got the knife to his throat. And then you see Carol and she's got an arrow and she's kind of looking off into the middle distance. And Maggie's slapping magazine in and then bitch slapping Herschel or whatever, like
so much, dude. And it's like every time they pause, they just pose to your point. They're posing for the trailer. They're posing for the trailer.
You know what it is? It's somebody, some douche, okay, on the camera department goes, "We're going to make this look like a scene from the comics. Check this shit out."
Look at this panel.
Stroking their own dicks going, I can tell you the shots exactly at the fucking time code. They were like, "That looks sick."
No,
bro.
Do you know what that does? That actually just makes their jobs easier, and they don't design their own storyboards, so they go to automatic pilot. They're like, "Oh, we already got the storyboards, the comic panels."
What they don't get is that the DP, the guy who shoots the fucking thing, is supposed to be a visual storyteller. And you don't just show cool looking shit for no fucking reason.
Yep.
It's Chekhov's gun. You see a gun hanging on a wall, somebody has to fire it. You can't just have things happen and then just go, "Wasn't that unexpected because we subverted your expectations by having Ezekiel stand out?" Even Negan goes like, "What are you doing?" And Ezekiel goes, "I have no idea what I'm doing."
Listen, Ryan Johnson.
Spoiler for this episode. After he's asked about it, and he goes, "I still don't really know why I did that." It's like, because he didn't. The writers don't know why he's doing it. It doesn't make any sense.
No, and to the point where they're yada-yadaing things from episode to episode, like getting the kids back in a lot of different situations, in different emotional, like how people deal with things. Even Ezekiel realizing everything with Negan, they just have him kind of make the decision, and then after the fact go, "You know why I made this decision? Because I thought it was a well-acted scene between the two of them, but it really didn't have the emotional connective tissue from the previous scenes." So another scene that doesn't is Negan coming up with his escape plan, that he's got the crudely drawn maps assaulting the guards. He's like, "I don't know what it is. It's a fucking tic-tac-toe board." Later, Ezekiel and Negan get a little bit into an argument, and Negan is right back in the warden's office. "So you got a name for me?" And it looks like he's given something up, but it's all a Negan plan. This has made us to lead us to a conclusion that Negan is ratting out Ezekiel after this disagreement. Did anyone actually think Negan was ratting out Ezekiel after his disagreement?
No, nobody thought that. Not a single person thought.
You know what you could have done to make me think that Hey, people, little inside baseball on how to tell a fucking story. Is you know how Negan has a theme? Have him sit down in the chair when he does that little like side smirk where he goes. Have the Negan theme play for 2 seconds to make it seem like he's falling back into old habits,
Yep.
going to turn him in, and then it doesn't happen.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's all you would need to do.
And it was especially after the little confrontation they both had when he was like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it my way. And he storms off like, you're right. I forgot. You're no longer writing for your audience that's been watching you for 10 years. You're watching for the fucking 13-year-olds who are trying to watch it for the first time because this was awful. This was awful that anybody who's over 20 has seen 1,000 times in 1,000 different shows.
Yeah, and they've lost the thread. They realize, and this is the worst part, is they realize that they've blown so many chances to just wrap up things sooner.
That's why they really want to get to these spin-offs, because they want to have that fresh start that every artist that is working an angle like this, we could, if we start again fresh, if we do these fresh stories, they're going to be fine. And
they brought in too many characters last time.
Okay, and here's why that's bullshit, is just because of the fact that people, if they are willing to announce a spin-off before the show's over,
dude,
they know that they do not resolve it.
Correct.
They know already that they're not going to fucking resolve it. They're going, stay tuned for next week.
For next season.
Yep.
It's not happening. Joe's right. It's not happening.
What resolutions do we get in, and we'll talk more about this next week, but what resolutions do you think we actually get in the finale of the series? Just the Commonwealth arc and nothing else, right? Like we get the end of that storyline. Do we get a flash forward? Do we get one of those sort of...
This is what's going to happen.
Tell us, Joe.
Okay. Out of nowhere, and see, the writers are so bad that out of nowhere, right, we're going to get this third-party invasion of some other community.
Rick's group,
right? And yeah, there you go.
So you think that's going to happen in the finale? Rick's group is going to invade?
I got no fucking clue. It's just stupid.
David, I asked that as our...
Superman's going to come down and lick zombie asshole in front of everybody and say, look, we're all cured now.
I asked that as our poll question tonight, and we'll see where that's going. We got almost 100 votes.
Improvement, says Crow.
Will Rick Grimes come back even just for one scene? 64% people say yes, 36% people say no. Joe, what do you think? Will Rick Grimes show up?
just to see him standing there like Maggie and him and Daryl.
Right. I mean, that's what I mean.
For like the end scene.
Will he show up for one scene? Like just come on set.
Maybe he'll sneak up on him in the woods like fucking Beardy did.
David, do you think we're gonna see Andrew Lincoln on this show one more time before the series ends?
Yes. Now, will it be?
Did you already film it, Dave?
What?
Jackson, did you already film it?
Yeah, did you do the ADR for it?
The voice for it? Yeah, the voice.
Yeah, Andrew Lincoln had Andrew Lincoln had a throat surgery, and he needed David to just do the voice for him.
Oh man, I gotta almost wish for it at this point. But yeah, I think he'll come back, and it'll be in some kind of half-assed way where I swear I thought they were. Oh fuck! I don't want to spoil it for Joe, but I'll just say this: it's gonna come back.
It's never a spoil for me.
Okay, warning to everybody that does not want to be spoiled for episode 23. We're gonna go to in a few minutes of spoilers for episode 23.
Tell you what, I'll do a thumbs up when I'm done.
Yeah, we'll do thumbs up if you want to mute it right now. But 1, 2, 3, spoilers a go.
Okay, so
Judith gets shot.
But
in the face?
No, she should die. They wimp out. They do another fucking dumpster bullshit. David, sorry, I'll let you go. They do another fucking dumpster bullshit, and she gets shot. What should kill her? She fucking passes out, and she doesn't die. Daryl picks her up and goes, "No!" and runs around with her while she doesn't bleed, but she just got shot.
He uses his plot armor to dodge everything.
Yeah,
variant walkers and all. It looks like the rest of the group almost gets.
Oh wait.
Okay, Patrick.
So he picks up shot little girl.
Yes.
That's like his daughter, or is his daughter.
She says dad.
Right?
She calls him daddy.
And starts running through the infected
Horde of walkers that are variant walkers.
Does that sound familiar to anybody who maybe played the first fucking 5 minutes of The Last of Us? Or the last 5 minutes
or
of
anybody who remembers fucking Rick running with Carl after
or that like
it's a refresh, it's a reboot.
No, it's even more so. Dude, I'm telling you now.
Sorry, David.
Just like what they did, I pointed it out in an episode a couple of last season.
But Joe,
that they were stealing shit from the Last of Us, and this
you'll have plenty of time to talk.
Of a scene
Joe,
from The Last of Us.
You'll have plenty of time to talk about The Last of Us in January.
That reeks of it.
Now
she hurts her leg right at the beginning, and he's
don't
running
spoil The Last of Us. Stop spoiling The Last of Us. Now, David.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Sorry.
Do I think that Rick will come back? I feel like she's gonna go, Daddy, and it's going to be. She was kind of looking up.
Oh no,
He's going to be literally rappelling down from a helicopter, that has the 3 circles on it.
Okay, I thought you were gonna go much more stupid, and that she's just gonna see a vision of Rick, and he's not actually gonna show.
I was going to say that as an option in just a second, but you beat me to it. But it's like,
that might be
the same thing that Rick did, where he's like imagining fucking Sasha.
Yes,
for no
exactly. We might imagine Rick.
And he's gonna go.
Judith might have that daddy might not. That daddy might not have been for Daryl. It could be because Judith right now, when she's half dead, half awake in her dream world, seeing Rick. She's talking to Rick. So Andrew Lincoln just filmed a singular scene with the young Judith actor somewhere away from set, and it's just a one-on-one scene between the two of them in the dream world. And Shane shows up because he's the real.
Actually daddy.
Yeah, this is your real daddy.
Oh, that'd be a twist, Daddy. Just ask you something, Judith.
Yeah, the Punisher comes in and just shoots the fuck out of Rick. Goes, I'm your dad.
Ask you something, Judith.
People are like, no, please, fuck no, don't let that happen.
Like they can write in Rick Grimes any one of a million stupid fucking ways.
Joe,
just like they wrote them out?
Joe, before we put the thumbs up for spoilers over, do you want to know anything else that happens in the episode, or would you rather be surprised?
Let him suffer it.
It doesn't matter to me.
No,
Spoil me or not, I don't know.
No, thumbs up for now. Thumbs up for now, everyone. Okay, spoilers are over. Okay.
You're good.
So Negan gets brought out in front of the prisoners and is made to kneel down in an obvious execution situation. The troopers line up to fire, but at the last minute, the warden grabs Negan's wife and throws her next to him because I don't know why he did that. Just because he needed to be extra evil. I
think the warden thought he was being extra smart, also, and killing the real brains.
Say I'm outsmarting you. So Negan shouts as David so eloquently reenacted.
Who would Negan lay his life down for?
That's the point of this episode. Negan wanted to we find this out. This spoiler alert for the next episode. In his discussion with Ezekiel, we find out that what Negan wanted to do was just lay down his life for these people because they're just better people than he is, and he wanted. No. And no, he's this is what he says. He's better.
Who said this?
Negan said this about what his situation is. He knows that they're all better people, and he wanted to do one thing that wasn't for his wife, wasn't for himself, was just for those people. So he did it for them.
That's not true.
That's what he said.
You're right. That isn't true.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan said that?
David, am I making? That's basically what Negan says, right?
That's almost verbatim.
Oh, and that's what Negan says in like the next episode.
Yeah, to Ezekiel about why he did it.
Like anybody standing there listening to this wasn't the deal. Not her. No.
No, he did it. He took the blame. No, he took the blame.
Right.
For them.
But her. Specifically,
no, fuck her. Fuck her.
Right.
For them.
No, he's changed
he
his
didn't
mind
go,
about all
take
of them.
me. All of them are innocent.
No, he was like, no, her, not her. You said we had a deal, not her.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And also, by the way, this is in the same episode that literally 5 minutes earlier in the show timeline, he just goes, I'm going to be there for my kid.
Yep.
And then you go, now you have literally, almost literally shot yourself in the foot.
No, see, and
you're
I
not
was
going to be
thinking that.
there.
I knew this would happen, David. I knew this would happen. See, I was thinking about this scene, and he doesn't say, I'm going to be there for my kid, but he says, I'm going to be a father my way. Or I'm going to do this my way, or some shit like that. He doesn't say, like, I'm going to raise my kid or teach my kid, or like, he just says, like, that's where you're wrong. So, like, that's your first clue there that he's going to, like, do something drastic and maybe get himself killed. Because
so he
doesn't quite say, I'm going to be there for him, or I'm going to be a good father, or some shit like that. He's just like, you're wrong, because I am going to be a father, but I'm going to be a father how I'm a father.
You're right about that. And so that is why you should consider this episode for your Emmy nominations, everyone. Is because Joe talked me into it.
Yeah, Joe brought you on board.
He talked me into it enough to where I go, you know what? That writing was good.
No, David, Jeffrey D.
No, it definitely wasn't good writing.
Joe, you said it. The writing was good.
Okay, yeah. That's the gotcha, Joe.
You heard it. You heard it here, right?
I didn't say it was good writing.
Joe's always right.
That's what the writing was.
Oh, okay.
What did I say? We painted ourselves into multiple corners.
Yes, they did. They fucking did. It's
because
awful.
What I meant by that is it's like you gave it to where literally anything could happen, yet nothing can happen because you've already established that these people live. And what could happen or what should happen, you have these different options and you can't get out no matter where you go.
No,
there's screw the pooch for the spinoff. If he lives, you've eliminated the stakes. If King Ezekiel dies, you lose the Commonwealth arc because chances are, my guess is that the Commonwealth.
Oh no, he's gonna be the Commonwealth doctor. He's sticking around.
He's the president of the Commonwealth, something dumb.
Yeah, something. He turns it into the next the Kingdom 2 Electric Boogaloo.
And his vice president will be Yumiko's brother,
or Jerry, because Jerry's not gonna die.
Oh fuck me.
No, it'll be Yumiko because she's a lawyer.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yumiko's
gonna run it. Yeah. Retro says Negan is the Elizabeth Taylor of The Walking Dead. Negan has 5 wives of The Walking Dead. Glenn killed a bunch of innocent sleeping men in their satellite outpost. Negan battered Glenn over the head because Glenn was a better person. If anyone wants to call on in, you can do that at 781-990-8509. We do have one voicemail in the can we'll play in a few minutes. We're just going to finish this Negan arc for the story. Even though I think we've destroyed it, it's the most. It doesn't get better from here. Ezekiel isn't going to sit by and watch Negan and Annie get shot, so he steps in front, and then one by one, as I mentioned earlier, like the Spider-Man scenes in all the Spider-Man movies, where you mess with New York, you mess with one of us, you mess with everybody, you mess with Spider-Man. We get the Spider-Man scene where everyone steps in front of Negan. You mess with Negan, you mess with me.
Right,
me
yeah.
too. Mess with me.
I
Don't
remember
mess
you
with
were saying
me.
that last week.
Yeah, and they all sort of line up and protect themselves, and it's so fucking stupid. It's the most stupid scene.
They all stand up. I am Spartacus. I am Negan.
I am Negan.
We're all Negan.
We're all Negan.
It would have been great if they had actually started saying that.
Missed opportunity. Yeah, what's your names? I'm Negan. But they missed an opportunity to. Once again, if you wanted it to come legit full circle, Negan is on his knees, and then Annie gets shot.
Yep.
Which would explain why we don't see her in any of the promo stuff for the spinoff.
Dude.
And then Maggie sees that, and she's mortified, and then Ezekiel also gets shot. So it's kind of like Daryl and Glenn. You have the person who has a wife or whatever getting separated.
It would be like a good parallel to the Glenn and Abraham. Instead they tried a half-ass version of that, and they didn't go all the way with it. They tried to give you feelings of that Negan scene without going full force on it. And if they had gone all the way with it, that could have binded a relationship with Negan and Maggie moving forward from an actual place that made sense for them to go off with each other to New York on some mission.
I got it. I got it now. We already saw Negan save the kid's life once, right? And David just said we don't see her in any of the promos. The wife, right? So here we go. What's going to make them solidify each other together? Negan has the choice: save the wife or save the kid. Now you got to remember the wife's got the baby in her too, so it's save the wife and your kid, or save Maggie's kid.
Oh, he's gonna
save Maggie's kid.
He's gonna save,
and his wife is gonna die for it. And
Interesting.
that's gonna be what brings them together to go off and do their whatever together.
I could see them ham-fisting something like that. So we see a promising realization here with one trooper who has endured a history of mistreatment from the warden right in front of our face, and finally decides, I love how the writer thinks this is a good thing, and finally decides he's going to aim his gun at his boss instead of the innocent civilians. But the warden...
But then he doesn't shoot the boss. He shoots one of the stupid fucks.
He does. He doesn't shoot the boss. Yeah. But the warden grabs Kelly as a hostage and backs away slowly into a stabby knife of Daryl, and hides Daryl, Carol, and Connie, and everyone showing up right at the...
And Daryl doesn't just kill him. He knocks him out.
Even that, hold on a sec. Even that, think about this, people. Daryl comes up, right? Connie's there, and Kelly's there. He didn't even grab the most important of them. He didn't even grab Connie and put a gun to the deaf woman's head. He grabbed a character that we couldn't give. What, we're going to lose the interpreter? Who the fuck cares? There's no stakes there. It's like if they had just blew her brains out, no questions asked, Daryl wouldn't have lost anyone. Nobody else in the group would have lost anyone. Only Connie, and she's not a main character. She's like a recurring, but she's like not a main character.
As GTA in the live chat says, grab Kelly. I don't care. Do it.
Yeah, fucking shoot her. Go ahead, test me.
And they should have shot her. They should have shot her.
Joe,
what are they going? They're going to give her some other death next week instead.
Joe, like, this last season, these last 8 episodes, you guys mentioned this earlier a little bit, and I couldn't agree more. These last episodes should feel like the final act of Hamlet. People should be dying left and right. Every episode, it should feel like, say what you want about Sons of Anarchy and how it drags shit out, but at the end, every last episode felt like a big, huge death of some kind. Even if they were cheesy and done weird at times, like you get the big... I'm not going to say it, but you get the big this death, you get the big that death. Like certain shows, you make sure, even The Sopranos, even though it ended with a whimper, like in those last couple of episodes, you get the Silvio and the Bobby thing, and then you get the Phil thing, and then you get the Tony thing, and you get the you make sure in that last season you amp up the stakes. And with a show like The Walking Dead, it's not hard to do something like that, but instead it's again to go to whatever our spoiler that we talked about in episode 23, go all the way with that. Have Daryl look on the ground and see that person gone. Like see that main character gone and have that feel something. And then you see what happens in that press news cycle that you want to hit so hard and get on that front page of the tweeties and the twooties of like the Walking Dead final season, where I tell people I'm the Walking Dead's final episodes, and people are like, oh really? Like that's still on? No one knows, no one cares, and no one but hardcore fans are really following this last season, and people that want to shit on it, and us. So
here, you want to improve this scene, people? Okay, here's how you do it, just like you killed off Beth. Remember, Daryl comes out, he's holding Beth.
Who? No, sorry. No, I'm kidding.
It almost looks like she's alive. Maggie sees her and she's happy for a second, and then you have that horrible shot of her discovering that she's dead, and she just falls and she's crying, and she gets it all from a look on Daryl's face. Good visual storytelling. What you do is you have that guy capture Kelly, and then he's like, I'll kill her, you know what I mean? And then somebody shoots some innocuous person or whatever, and as Daryl maybe has like a knife and he's going to like get him again, he shoots Kelly, and you cut to Connie, her sister, going bug-eyed and like silent screaming, and then Daryl kills the guy like violently, and he starts going crazy for her to show his, you get some action, you get some intensity, you get good visual storytelling, you get all of this stuff, and it actually has some impact.
Yeah.
And it's devastating because it's also like, well, fuck, Connie's really out to dry here. I mean, it's her interpreter, it's her sister, there's some stakes there, but it's also Daryl immediately avenges it. So it's a quick way to resolve.
I'm gonna really miss that slingshot because it looks so badass compared to the guns and the knives in those montages.
Hasn't been fired in a season.
So
Hasn't been fired in a season at all.
Let's listen to our good buddy from area code 773 that has a little off-topic question to give us a little respite before we get into our other two storylines that we'll go a little quicker with for the this past episode. This is area code 773.
Hello, Phil. It's me again, and I have another question. This one was asked by the same person who asked the Harry Potter thing. She wants to know. I don't know if you have the Mega Ball or Powerball, whatever it is. For me, it's like going up to 1.9 billion. Here's the question: Would you accept the winning ticket?
Yes.
Guaranteed, if it meant going through what Theon did with Ramsey. What Ramsey did with Theon.
Do I get to be Theon, or do I have to be Ramsey?
No, I think they mean Theon.
Or
okay.
do I get to be Ramsey?
Okay, let's ask the question. Would you take $1.9 billion to cut your dick off?
No.
Joe?
No. What do you think I would do with that 1.9 billion?
Yeah, could I build a new dick? Could I could I cut my dick off, put it in a freezer, and then use the $1.9 million to hire like the best surgeon in the world to sew it back, put it back on, and I'm gonna get the same feeling? Like
Bobbitt's got to put back on.
Right, like because I'll deal with the initial pain for the 1.9.
Doesn't your dick get fed to the dogs though? No.
In that situation, probably.
Eat the sausage.
In that situation, I probably get into like a bumbly, like I fall and I drop, like my dog ends up chewing on it. Lotus. Oh no, it's bad. No, we got a bunch of nopes in the live chat. Nope. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Speaking
couple
of
fingers, a hand, an arm, a leg.
Speaking of nope,
all of those, sure.
Speaking of nope things, I really could not give a shit. And you guys know I wax poetically about Aaron episodes because I really do like Aaron, but I could give. This is the weakest part of this whole episode. We get the Lydia, Aaron, and Jerry and Elijah stuff where it's so fucking useless. I don't even know how to sum it up. It's like Lydia drops her knife at one point. The Walker crouches down to pick it up. Lydia gets her one plan that she knows, like her one thing she can do is like dress up like a zombie. We can put the zombie guts on, and then that's what she. And then
she drops her knife.
Yeah, that's it.
No wonder fucking.
Oh, do you know why she dropped her knife? Because we needed to see the variant Walker pick it up.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude. I mean, like this hurts my dick hearing you talk about this.
Yeah, and fuck the Lydia story. I'm tossing her. She's as charismatic as a bag of rocks. I just can't deal with it.
That Walker fell on the same thing she fell on to pick up the knife, because if it didn't fall, it wasn't gonna like bend down.
And
like,
again,
a knife.
And again, I know the actress is never gonna watch this, but if you're watching this, I don't think you're as boring as a bag of rocks. I think the way they have written your character and what you get to play with the character of Lydia is as interesting as a bag of rocks. You're really trying. She's really trying.
Yeah, she's been given absolutely nothing. I can tell you, as an actor, I can tell when an actor is super upset with the material that they have been given, and these actors are seething.
You can see it. Dude,
these
I agree.
Actors are fucking furious.
I agree.
As well as you should be, because anything that was cool about your character, the only cool thing going forward, you guys, is conventions.
And I will say,
100%. It's not the show. That's done.
100%, David. That and like fan-made sort of stuff that they can do on their own. But
and they won't. They're gonna try to fucking forget about this. They're gonna be in therapy like Kit fucking Harington with Game of Thrones.
Oh, but what is Kit Harington trying? David, what is Kit Harington trying to do right now? And what did he succeed to do? Bring the Snow series because he went through therapy and he could never let it go. So he's like, I can't let it go. I got to bring back the character.
Yeah, and they're gonna retcon the fuck.
Dude, that's gonna be ridiculous.
You know that's what's gonna happen. And here's the thing: at least people wanted that. Nobody gives a flying shit about Lydia.
No.
If you still if you even remember her name, I'd be shocked.
I only know it because this article says it. So Lydia drops a knife. Okay, so then we get to the epic apex of the episode, the reason why we're here tonight, everybody. Let's all get our Eugene looks on our faces. No,
All
but,
right.
But I
the
like.
trial of Eugene, Joe. It's the trial of Eugene. What were you going to say? Do you have something else to say about Lydia?
I just don't know, like, where are they going with their horde of walkers that they carried? Where'd they get them all suddenly out of nowhere? Like, they're in the woods. They meet up with dude and
Joe,
chick.
without
and
spoiling,
then
where
the
do you think
next
they're
scene,
going?
They're like, oh no, we got to get out of here. We're being tracked. They're on us, and when they find us, they're going to kill us. Okay, we're just going to disappear into this horde of zombies that we just found out of nowhere.
That's heading towards Joe. Where do you think the horde of zombies is going?
Don't really give two shits. I just kind of like figured it was going towards the Commonwealth. To add
You're
to the chaos
ding,
next week.
ding, fucking ding. Okay,
And if not, I was like, oh, maybe they're just gonna go do an attack now because the Commonwealth killed the Oceanside. But either way, like, they're being tracked. They're hot on our heels. Let's take the time to go find a horde of walkers.
Also, should have killed the Oceanside when Lance was flipping the coin. Like, once again, if you're not going to show them, why the fuck do you have them? Okay, like, this once again, the Chekhov's gun thing. Remember when Oceanside was forgot about, and then they randomly showed up when they were like throwing Molotov cocktails all of a sudden at like the hilltop or something, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Oceanside." And it's been like 3 years since that even happened. Okay. And so everybody's forgotten about it. Like, the fact that they even say it. The show brought up some other fucking group called like Riverbend or something.
Yeah.
And I was more intrigued by who the fuck that was than Oceanside, who we've seen.
No one cares about Oceanside, and no one cares about most of the people that they end up bringing up here. But the person that no one cares about most of all is fucking Eugene. Because I'll say it over and over and over again because it's absolutely true. Eugene, the Eugene character, is a voice. It's a one-off character. It's something that The Walking David would do if he was hosting Saturday Night Live in a skit, like on the Joe Dirt, like with Joe Dirt, like playing a friend of Joe Dirt. Like, it should be a comedic character that comes in for a one-off line here and there and do something funny. Maybe an episode focuses on him that's a little surreal, like, again, like the Weird Al biopic kind of thing, where it seems like it's a serious story, but it's a lighthearted story, like you did with The Doctor and Voyager or something. But no, we take Eugene in a completely supposed to be unironic situation, and we see him give these deep, poetic, in-court like speeches.
Yeah, and he's
shit.
talking to like 3 or 4 different people about being a good guy and doing the right thing and standing up. Like, ugh.
We don't have any. Yeah, it's just awful. And again, David, you're somebody that does. I do it, Eugene, not as good as you, but like Eugene's a fun little thing to do. But again, to look at the actor on his face, I feel like I'm looking at an actor that's having fun had fun doing having a piss of a character, and they're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna write real dramatic shit for you, and he's stuck doing that stupid voice and that stupid thing and unemote. So he's like trying to do emotional stuff, but he's still doing I'm done. It's like he's still doing like a fake impression character thing. So there's this complete disconnect. Am I missing this, or do you feel it all similar to this? Because it's just a fucking joke to me, and this was just funny in all the wrong reasons. This whole trial was ridiculous to me.
Yeah, no.
Every time they've tried to make Eugene serious, it feels like Brian Regan doing a serious bit. Like, it feels like you said, like a joke. It feels like fake sorrow. Like, so when he's going like, I'm not a scientist, like it just seems like bordering on goofy. Now, when Abraham knocked him out, all those
that was great.
Ago, it had more impact because you're thinking, oh, there's going to be ramifications for him being this lying son of a bitch, kind of whatever. And then even later on, when he started being useful, like he came up with like solar panel shit, I was like, okay, well, now he has a purpose. Like, he could actually help their community. And then he's like designing plans for a bridge. I go, maybe they've actually found a use for him.
Yeah, he's a different kind of character, interesting. Yeah, but then they need to make everyone an action hero on this show. Is that what needs to happen? Like,
well, that was by the way, that was the big change, you guys, is that over the 6-year time jump, Eugene got Polly Walnut's wingtips.
Yep, people are saying that Ultorf in the
it.
live chat said his stupid hair and the rat. Yeah, like he did get the walnut. The walnuts.
Yeah, like how come?
Walnuts.
Like it would have been. I mean, they could have really done stuff that would have been really interesting. Where it's like, you know, Eugene, he gets thrown in jail, and instead of like putting him in that stupid derpish suit, you know, they like shave his head or something like that, and they really make him look like a criminal. They could have done things to make it more realistic instead of the fact that they shaved his face and they got him dressed up and they, you know, they put on this whole show. It's very theatrical and very soap opera-y. It doesn't feel real at all. His speech would be good.
David,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if this is theater, it's community theater. It's like it's community college theater. It's like the theater that like a black box. Like this is an insult to theater. It's not even good. It's not believable. Like it's not passionate. It's not like the best theater actors might be sometimes over the top and can really ham it up and own those rooms, but you believe where they're coming from. Like again, Joe, like the dude Eric that was in the play that I was in. He's a very I'm a big actor, but like he owns the room and he's believable within that. Like in that
the agent,
the agent dude, he like owned the room, but like. Someone like Bob Odenkirk, you could see him in any situation. But this theater acting is like middle school theater acting.
Well, that's because the first big problem you have is, of course, it goes back to the writing. Like this whole courtroom scene was the most cliche courtroom scene ever. From the objection denied, objection sustained on the prosecutor side, to the fixes in, to the
crying governor,
and to the I want to say something. I know my lawyer doesn't want me to, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, you know what this really felt like, the courtroom scenes. When sitting and watching while visiting my parents, they're both doctors, and seeing them watch Chicago Med is exactly the same feeling that a lawyer would have watching this scene, just because it's the words that you're familiar with, but not at the right place, not at the right time. Who the fuck is this judge? Why is the judge not like Pamela or something to where it's completely unbiased? You know what I mean? Like that would make it at least kind of like, don't worry, Eugene, they're going to hear your case before a court. And then they show up and all of a sudden he's like, all right, well, if you say so. And she's like, you know, court is now in session. And all of a sudden Pamela sits down and she's the judge, and you go like, oh, well, fuck.
Yeah, this thing's fucked.
You know what I mean? At least the audience would go, oh, fuck. Like, we are so fucked here. You know what I mean? Because it kind of felt like that's what they were going to do. It kind of felt like she was leading like, oh, he'll have a trial.
No.
Don't worry. Yeah, he'll get a chance to speak in front of people, and then it's going to be her.
Yeah, and
it didn't happen. It was some fucking lady. Who the fuck is this lady?
It was so ridiculous. And MG GTA in the live chat says, why didn't Mercer just pop off on Milton? Because he was trying to get surprise. Tracy G says, I'm watching the episode now, and I'm so glad there's only one more show left. My goodness, I hate this fucking show. Tracy G, we appreciate you checking it out just to stay watching us. John Haymaker says, you're not going to believe it. This guy, he killed 17 Czechoslovakians. This guy was an interior decorator.
Yeah.
They should have given Eugene the Jadis haircut. He himself hasn't sacrificed anything by choice or risked much by choice. It's crazy when Tommy Wiseau seems a more convincing dramatic actor than Eugene, says Igor. That's my point too, again. And I don't want to belabor the same point over and over again, but I don't have much. You know, I'm not a smart man. But it's Eugene. I'm not smart. I'm not be a smart man.
I'm not a scientist.
But okay, maybe I'm talking myself out of it with saying Forrest Gump could pull off dramatic stuff. But even in Forrest Gump, the best stuff that worked was the comedic stuff. When he's like, Jenny, I'm not a smart man, but I know what true love is. I laughed. It was kind of stupid. Like you can't play like that one note thing. And Eugene does the same thing. He's like always trying to speak in a monotone kind of way. And like, so when he's trying to play a dramatic kind of moment, there's no, I applaud him for getting that all out in one breath. You know, like I applaud the actor for playing this comedic actor. character.
Good job memorizing your lines.
Yeah,
But it's
and playing and being like 100% in character, but damn you on not necessarily the writers, but and I guess it is the writers, but in the plotting of the story to put the character of Eugene in this moment. You should have put, because it seemed to me in the season you were setting up the deaf girl. What's her name? Connie. She was working as a reporter and going against the Milton, but then you switched it in with Eugene. It should have been a case against her. It would have been more compelling because the actress could have played more, or anybody besides Eugene. Anybody. It could have been like pick anybody. Fucking any character besides Eugene in a trial, and it would have been more. Maybe Yumiko herself. She's defending herself.
Right. Or even the episode before this,
anyone but Eugene.
Goes,
Princess.
Anyone in association with Eugene Porter should be rounded up. They should have all been forced to be on a witness stand. But if they refuse, they're a hostile witness. You could have done way more court stuff, but you'd actually have to understand the court system to do that. You couldn't just.
Yeah, they'd have to. David, you'd have to research for that. That's not what.
Yeah, you'd actually have to be like, you have to get a Better Call Saul writer in there to really fix your shit. So,
yeah, that's not what they're trying to do.
But also, you know what would have been nice? Eugene has spoken the right word? Has spoken in this very weird, super articulate, but yet hard to understand kind of way the whole time. And if he had just kind of gone like, pardon the impression, okay? But just as an attempt, I'm not one to usually go off on some sort of, metaphorical soliloquy, but allow me. And then like he looks at Yumiko and she kind of goes like, just like, hey, do it from the heart kind of thing. Like not from your mind, do it from the heart kind of thing. He just goes, well, I'm going to try to speak plainly. I was a coward, but here I found my courage and I found love and I believe in what the Commonwealth is. And I never meant to cause any harm to anyone or anything. And I'm just truly sorry. And I'd love the opportunity.
Why couldn't you have played Eugene? At least you're putting some emotion behind. You're putting way more emotion than he did.
But you see, here's the difference though, is it shows that when he's using his brain, he speaks in this word vomit. But when he speaks from the heart, he speaks calmly, plainly, in simple language. And that is the change. That is the thing that makes it compelling. Because you go, I'm going to now listen because he is now understandable and he is trying to make sense to me. He is trying to persuade me. And somebody who speaks like that is not persuasive when they speak like that. They're persuasive when they cut the bullshit, they cut the act, and they just go, my life finally got good when I got here. And I hate that everybody thinks that I am some kind of monster or menace. I never meant to hurt anybody. Please give me the chance to make this right. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make it up to you people. And but here's the thing. This show didn't do that. They had him speak the same old dumb fucking way. And I don't know about you. When they cut, I genuinely thought this. When they cut to the ruling, you've been found guilty, I thought that was in his mind.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When they cut, the way they cut it, it was on his face, and they did a weird jump cut to a different angle of his face with a glossy filter. I thought he was imagining him getting the death penalty.
David, I don't want to get too technical into it, but that's the weird thing that they've done in these last 6 episodes, this last part of the season that they didn't do in any other season. They're doing these weird camera tricks in some of these episodes, I think, just to let kind of like, is it just
hired for another show? Because they're trying to get it.
Is it the demo reel? Yeah, is it like the cinematographers for the episodes and the directors for the episodes being like, we got to create some shit for our demo reel? It does seem really weird. Okay, so just to finish this shit off, Mercer tells Pamela lies about her son. She's like, it's like the Eddie Murphy thing in the cheating. Oh, it wasn't me. She's like, that wasn't my son on the tapes. It's a liar. He did it. Blah, 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 blah. To make matters worse, the governor tells the court that the voice in the recording wasn't even her son, and she thinks that Eugene altered the tape. Things aren't looking good for Eugene and Yumi at this point in time. Despite Eugene's heartfelt closing speech about how one man can change the world, the trail ends with Eugene being found guilty. There's this alternate universe where people really are emotionally affected by Eugene's speeches, and they fucking think I'm the biggest asshole in the world. But as Eugene is led down the prison corridor, he's stopped by and his burlap sack is removed. There stands Mercer with his Mercer armor on, with a Mercer expression, Eugene's figure for now. But to everyone's surprise, Mercer says, "Time to fuck shit up." And then this, I gotta say, I'll applaud The Walking Dead for editing for one moment, because they copied Cobra Kai. Joe talked earlier about how they're copied something from The Last of Us. They copied the Hawk moment from the first episode when Hawk is first introduced. He's like, "I'm not Eli anymore, I'm Hawk," and then the music kicks in, dun 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 dun. When Mercer says it's time to fuck shit up, I'll applaud Beer McCready. He comes in with this like bum 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 like soundtrack thing that really worked for me. And I'm like, yeah, fuck shit up, Mercer. And in the next episode, he doesn't really fuck shit up. But I'm really excited in the moment to see Mercer fuck. He does shit and then goes to jail. He does nothing. But Mercer fucks shit up. Yes. He's gonna do stuff. Mercer's a bunch of wasted potential, because I like the actor's performance of everything, but they don't give him anything to act. They give him a bunch of what David was talking about in his voicemail message, a bunch of wasted promises of he's gonna do something interesting, and he never does the interesting thing.
Yeah, they follow, once again, Game of Thrones. They follow things where they got some notes. George R. R. Martin didn't want them to fuck up his books, so he just gave them something, just a little something. And they didn't know how to get there. So they just go like, Mercer's with Princess in the comic books, so let him get with Princess. And they go, okay, we'll figure that out. And they just go, what happens from there? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Yes, he did. The one thing he does do is, again, I'm buzzed now at this point, so I'm just throwing spoilers out. He has a phone conversation with Princess. That's about how much he fucks shit up. Maybe he fucks shit up like he fucks things up. I'll say that. It's instead of fucking shit up, he fucks things up.
Okay, but you know what it's like, once again, is remember that what season is it? 8 or something, when Maggie just goes, "We're going to wait for our moment, and then we're going to show him." And then Daryl comes out of the darkness and he goes, "Yeah, we will."
Dude.
Like that, and nothing happened at all. Like it was exactly that, where you just kind of go, oh, so Maggie's gonna like kill Rick or something. Oh, that's what it was. It's the end of season 7, because it was supposed to hint that Maggie and Daryl were gonna go against Rick's wishes and try to kill Negan.
David, what did Daryl say again?
Yeah.
Your Daryl's getting really, really fucking good. Your Daryl's getting almost as good as your Rick. But to everyone's surprise, Mercer says the 5 little words, time to fuck shit up. Let's hear what the fuck this person ends their article. And if that wasn't wonderful enough by its own right, showrunner Angela Kang said in her after show that the line was actually improvised by Mercer actor Michael James Shaw. Oh,
wow, I bet he had to dig real deep.
I'm gonna fuck shit up. And this is final say for our author here. This was truly a great episode. We're in the home stretch now. There shouldn't be any more wild tangents. The remaining 2 episodes after this should be laser focused on kicking as much ass as possible.
This dude's got no taste.
Yeah, cool. You know what? That's literally telling the kids, we're almost there. If we can stay focused, I'll get you some ice cream, okay?
And I forgot to mention that when Pamela, oh no, I'm sorry. I was just about to spoil the next episode. But the irony is Mercer didn't fuck anything up. Mercer is very wasted. Good actor, though. I agree. I've said this to Joe from the beginning. I'm enjoying it. It reminds me a lot of Jesus or Tyrese, like people that the actors were playing great performances, but the writers betrayed them because they expected just the comics to be enough to inform you about the character, so they never created anything on the show for the particular character. That's the biggest fault. But beyond the writing being shitty, which it's because of the writing, but the biggest fault I will I will blame on The Walking Dead for why I lost interest in it was because after the initial group of characters that got introduced, minus post the farm, really, they kept, every time they introduced a new character, they expected you to know about that character from the books, and they didn't spend the time to establish the character in a real television show way or a movie way. They just expected you to already be informed about who this character is, with like Jesus and Tyrese, and there's a million others, but those are the two I'm just going to mention because they're the first ones at the tip of my tongue. Even Father Gabriel and Abraham, but they were just great actor performances.
Yeah.
Seth Gilliam is a great actor. What's his name is a great actor playing Abraham.
What about in like season 7 when Maggie runs into that woman named Georgie who looks very much like Pamela Milton, but we just dropped that. We never see her once again. Nope. It was one episode, and then they reference her in a letter, and then never again. And then also when Rick and Michonne came to Alexandria, they made them what? They made them like constables, right? Because they're like they keep the law and stuff organized. Tara was in Alexandria. Tara was a fucking cop. Okay, they can't keep track of anything. I mean, like, Tara literally, her first introduction of her character is, I just finished up at the police academy 3 weeks before this shit went down.
Yep.
She is a cop. And they didn't make the cop a cop.
That's who it was. I was trying to think. I was trying to think earlier who was like your least favorite character in Walking Dead history, and that's who it was. It was Tara.
Tara numero uno, then Enid close second. Okay, like
Joe JSS. Exactly, David. JSS, David. Come on.
Yeah, I love how the guy that she left that to, they just killed him off because they didn't want to pay him anything.
Okay, so a couple more comments and we'll start to wrap things up here. The fact that they have an explainer after every episode means they can't do exposition in the show. It's the first stop. This, and again, I don't want to pile this on to Dan and Dave, but I feel like Dan and Dave are the first two that in my memory I remember doing this, so I'm going to blame this on them too. Every fucking show, even shows I like, have to do this. The creators, after the episode, talk about the episode and explain to you what the fuck happened. And I know I do a post show where I talk about it, but no, we're having fun. We're discussing the This is the creator. In some cases, they're not charismatic. They have this bad attitude, and they're like talking down to you, like, what I was trying to do in this scene was elicit emotion, and I don't want to hear it. Like they're pissed off they have to do it, and you know what? I'd be pissed off too. I don't want to sit there and explain my fucking bullshit. Like, watch it, think yourself, critical fucking think. I don't need to spoon feed you what the themes of the fucking episode were. What, you don't want to make stupid people have to think? Is that the thing? You don't want to make stupid people think, so you need to put this thing at the end to give them the spoon feed of what the points of the fucking episode were? It pisses me off because they do it every time now.
Well, you know what it's like? Is it's sort of like if it's when somebody tells a dumb lie to get out of something, like they didn't want to go to a party and they said that they're sick. And so then you drag them around to multiple people and say, tell them what you just told me. That's what those feel like. It just feels like they're telling a bad excuse over and over again, and they're so exhausted from having to tell everybody this dumb excuse of why they wrote it this way, because they know the real reason they can't tell you is that they go, we stopped giving a fuck the moment we got another offer, and it ended up screwing their whole career because Star Wars got taken away from them, and they ruined everything. And it's like, just because they were impatient. So those interviews, they don't want to do those interviews because guess what? They weren't doing those interviews when the show was good.
Yep. And now Angela King did them. They did them at the end of House of the Dragon. They do them at the end of Interview with the Vampire. Every AMC show does it now. Every show has these post moments with the show creator telling you Joe Dirtylocks what they were trying to do in this episode. Do you watch the Angela King?
No, and I didn't watch behind the scenes shit when they came out with that stuff on DVDs and like the the director commentaries over the scenes and shit like that. I never watched all those tracks.
The
Yeah,
only
You used to watch some of that.
no,
but, like,
no, I
mean,
watched some of them.
some,
The best one, and you even, I remember watching this with you too. The best DVD commentary of all time, and it's the only one to watch is Matt Stone and Trey Parker on
Yes.
on Cannibal and Orgasmo. They get shit faced and they get drunk and they rag on all their friends, and it's the funniest shit ever. Just hearing those two dudes like off the cuff just being assholes, and it's just like them doing. It's a podcast before podcast was with them doing it, but most of them are just like, in this scene I was this is where I was.
we spent our whole budget on this. Literally.
This is the shot of the Jaws monster, and this is what we were going for the whole season. Then the first three sharks failed. Sorry, I guess that's my Steven Spielberg. I didn't know who I was doing there, but I guess that was my Spielberg.
Yeah, you know what? You know why I think they're doing it is it's not just to keep interest. It's because the dumbing down of writing has made them need to explain themselves to the audience because nobody understands what the fuck's happening. And also, due to streaming, physical hard copies of things are purchased less and less. And so they go, well, we have all this behind the scenes stuff. Let's just put it at the end since no one's going to buy the DVD of this shitty season anyway.
Yeah.
So let's just explain it because we already spent money on it. You know what I mean? And just, it's already there. And because they have done that quite a bit where they would do those things for the interesting stuff back when The Walking Dead was good, but they would just have it on the DVDs. But streaming wasn't a thing. But now that streaming's a thing, nobody's going to buy these DVDs anymore, except for maybe me. I'll have the hard copies just so that I can pop them in every once in a while and remember what I hate.
I kind of like hard copies of certain things, but it's been a while. Our will Rick Grimes come back even for just a scene with 100 people, 96 people voting? I like to round up. Will there, yes, 62% people say yes, 37% of people say no.
I put no.
Joe put no, and David, you say yes?
Yeah, I think briefly. I think they have to, or they're really gonna fuck themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think they need to do as many. They need to do a backdoor pilot with it where he's like, yeah, and you should see how I got here, and then we see as it's a lead into his thing. Do we see? I should have added the secondary question because there's the big difference between Andrew Lincoln and Michonne, because Michonne actually has a career besides The Walking Dead. She did, like Andrew Lincoln, God bless your soul. I know you can do theater, but
he's starting to get in some stuff. I know that he was in like some Netflix show that was doing pretty well.
He hit it on Netflix series. I didn't.
Yes, well, not his own, but a couple episode arc or something on it where he's getting a career back, and he did that movie like Penguin Bloom, so he's starting to do it, but it's a lot slower than Denai Guerrera for sure.
Yeah, she hit big with. But do you think Michonne comes back too?
No.
Yeah, they're not getting Michonne
at all. Never even entered into my mind. Like, if anything, they may get lucky, and you'll hear her voice coming from a radio.
I think they might get her for the Rick Grimes series because they can it's an individual thing and she'll work just with Andrew Lincoln and she'll have to come back on that particular set. Okay. Yeah. One or two more questions and then we'll take this. We'll call this a night. Rick could be like that Charlton Heston character that ends the musical at the end. Walking Dead musical starring Andrew Lincoln. So, David, if people want to see more of your impressions on TikTok, David mentioned it earlier in passing, but his TikTok channel has close to 70,000 followers. He does lots of Walking Dead impressions. So if you're hungry for some Rick Grimes, Daryl, or any of the other crew, definitely make sure you follow David there on it's at David Grayson. Is that what it is?
It's at David K Grayson, or you can just type in all lowercase The Walking David. You'll find my stuff for sure.
So make sure you do that. We'll make sure we get David on, definitely voicemails, but see if we can get him to pop on in our series finale.
Oh, I'll fucking be there, dude. If you want me there, I'm there.
Yeah, we got you on the series. So Joe and I will hold down the fort next week, and then we'll have you come back on the series finale to help send off The Walking Dead with a smile. So the wonderful Bug says Joe is here because he loves The Walking Dead. Joe, is this torture for you? Are you?
Yes.
Yes.
It is, especially because my chicken parm just showed up.
Oh, Joe's ready to eat. Okay, so we're ending at the perfect time for Joe. Everyone, thank you so much for checking this out. We'll be back next week. We might be on a little earlier next week, but we'll be on next week. Love you guys. Talk to you next time. Peace. Okay, we are good. Thank you, guys.